bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
Want the best smoothie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports' IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com and sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's film at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that Sacramento Kings forward Keegan Murray, along with Oklahoma City's Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, Detroit's Cade Cunningham, and Houston's Jalen Green will join Team USA for FIBA's World Cup training camp next month. NFL owners are meeting today to formally approve the Commander sale from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris for a record $6.05 billion. Daniel Snyder bought the team from the estate of Jack Kent Cook in 1999 for $800 million. Those are your headlines. Now let's get started with Whitey and Watkins.
They gonna take it for a W.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car. It's a show specifically for you, Sacramento. Whitey.
You got a new song out of this anyway. Hoops, I did it again. So that's right. Hello, is this on?
Nope.
Watkins.
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to be the wet blanket on everybody.
It's Whitey and Watkins, and it starts.
Hurry up!
Now.
So here's something that's happened since we were last together yesterday. Good morning. Draymond Green is in a Twitter beef with Jordan Poole's dad. We got that.
Picking on somebody his own size, huh?
Ah.
Something like that.
Is there any possible way that's a good look for anybody? Anybody?
No, actually not. No. Whenever family starts to get involved, whenever no one ever likes it when the dad comes from the stands onto the floor and starts getting into it, and then Draymond's not one to ever walk away from any sort of confrontation. So no, there's no way that this ends peacefully or well.
It's just such a bad look. And I wonder how the Warriors feel about it. If the Warriors are, come on, Draymond, can we just let this thing go? And hasn't Jordan Poole actually handled it pretty well?
I would say so, relatively. I mean, he's the one who's been pretty quiet about it. I saw he was asked when he was introduced with the Wizards in a little media scrum, like, "Hey, you got anything to say about Draymond Green?" And he just kind of rolls his eyes and puts his head to the side and is like, "Next question." I mean, that's kind of ideally, if you're over it, if you're trying to take the high road, that's what you should do, is just, that's the past in the past. And, if he wants to talk about it, he can talk about it, but I'm on to greener pastures, new situation, just focused on my new team. That's how Jordan should handle it. That's how he is handling it. Draymond, of course, is, like I said, not one to shy away from any sort of battles. So
it's actually a fact.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's not going to back down. So it's like I said, I don't think it's going to end pretty, but I would have to imagine that Golden State, from their front office and all their higher ups, are probably like, "Hey, man, can we just? This was a really big distraction last year.
Yeah,
let's not." Bleed this over to this year when the guy's already gone.
It seems like Draymond probably knows that, and maybe they've even had to discuss it. Hey, just so we all know, right? I mean, Bob's not here anymore, so we got a new GM. So let's just all eyes forward.
Yeah, on to Cincinnati.
Exactly. And then I think Draymond's like, "Yeah, I know that, but I can't help. I just can't. I gotta tell you this will happen." And he still hasn't, but it's coming.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I will.
The first time they play the Wizards, it's going to be, that is League Pass television must watch. I mean, something's going to pop off there. There's going to be some sort of interaction between Jordan and Draymond. And I know, they obviously had to play the entirety of last season together, but with the fact that Draymond's just not letting this thing die, I would assume Jordan Poole, by his actions, seems to kind of want this thing to go by the wayside and stop talking about it. But something tells me it's just going to resurface at some point, and I bet it's going to get a whole lot uglier before it gets resolved.
Wait, did you say a Wizards game is going to be must watch?
Dude, I know. It's pretty crazy to say. The only Wizards game
money well spent.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever see that old Kristen Wiig skit on Saturday Night Live? And I think the character's name was Sue, and she'd be in there and they'd say, Sue, we got a surprise. It's a surprise party. Don't say anything. And she literally could not contain herself.
No,
and she'd run
I haven't
through
seen
one.
that.
That's a surprise.
Yeah.
I think that's how
Yeah.
Draymond Green is with this.
He's like,
Yeah.
they're like, Draymond, please just like whatever, talk about your podcast, talk about whatever. You can talk about Steve Kerr, and Bob Myers, your relation. Go ahead and talk about all that. Just don't talk about this Jordan. He's gone.
Okay,
We traded him for
all right.
you, like because
yeah, I know.
Okay, you got it.
I got it.
Cool.
I got
cool.
it. But I got to tell you, I wouldn't just do that.
It's just it's like, man, just let it go, Draymond. Like at this point, you're the one who's supposed to be, I've got tons of rings. He's gone. We're focused on winning. You've got your own fish to fry with trying to figure out the Chris Paul situation at this point. You've got enough things that you need to worry about. I don't think you need to bring up old stuff that really did hurt your team last year. Like that was a real sticking point for that organization. And the fact that he's not letting it die, I think something tells me that people would prefer him to just stop.
He was a guest on the Pat Bev podcast with Roan, and he said, I don't just hit people. So he starts down that road, right? Like, I can't tell you what's going to happen, what happened, but I don't just hit people. So I'm not usually triggered by something that fast.
Okay.
And then Jordan Poole's dad weighs in, and that's BS, and he avoided me all year. Draymond has to respond to that on Twitter. It's Jordan Poole's dad. Can we just move on at some point? We're going to move on now to this. Draymond addressed free agency. Maybe there's nothing here, but this caught my eye. He talked about how he said he had turned down substantially more lucrative offers.
Okay.
Substantially more lucrative than what was it?
20 million. It was 4 years, 20. So 480, I guess. 4 for 80, or was it 4 for 100? What did he make? 25 million a year?
4 years, 100 million.
There you go.
So
$25 million a year.
Yeah. He says substantially greater offers. And he says his agent convinced him to stay with the Warriors. I know we've asked this before. What's your gut? What's your best guess? Do you think the Kings were in on that in any way, shape, or form?
Not at that price, especially for substantially higher than $25 million. Maybe I'm being naive. I just don't think there's any way that the Kings were ever going to be serious about paying Draymond Green $30 million. I mean, if we're to believe that the Kings kick tires on guys like Kyle Kuzma and OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam, those are legitimately, you don't have to squint to see, okay, those guys can help you win for the next 3-4 years if they come over. Draymond Green, to pay him $30 million, there's just no way that Monty McNair would have justified that, looking at their cap situation, looking at the timeline of their team. Draymond Green, for a team like Sacramento, who still is up on the going upward trajectory, there's no way that makes any sense for them. 30 million, or I'm just assuming 30 million if he's talking substantially higher than 25. There's no way. There's just no way.
Anthony Slater is going to join us bottom of the hour. Anthony Slater, along with Sam Amick, put that interview together for The Athletic, the Monty McNair interview. A lot of interesting things in there. And Anthony Slater, of course, covers the Warriors. So he may have some insight on that. I'm just very curious to know. We have on the YouTube chat, thanks for being with us on YouTube, Rockin_New Era 84. What's up? Says, ain't no way other teams were offering him more than that. Maybe somebody offered him, a 1 season deal that was more.
Right.
Like 60 for 2 or I don't know. See, I could see, and this is I would understand if it's true. So I don't mean this in any way as a criticism, but I could see how Vivek might say, he would really help us. And, my time with the Warriors was great. I know how much he means to a team. Let's make a run at him. I could see that maybe happening.
I could see it, but I just don't think that Monty would have ever actually considered it, just because, that's such a substantial dollar figure. And also, we've talked about it, and I think we're going to talk about it again later. Draymond's got real beef with a couple of Kings, like especially, Harrison Barnes, that's well documented, but also Domantas Sabonis, who he stomped on.
That you give Sabonis this huge deal, that's taken care of.
But could you have given it to him if you re-signed Draymond? You might have not had that money available to do that.
Yeah, maybe.
Possibly.
Also, HB was looked like he was going to sign, then he wasn't, right? Then it's looks like maybe he's going elsewhere. Maybe because they were talking to Draymond.
Possibly. Possibly. I
have no idea.
That could be connecting dots, but I think that there's a possibility. I think that there was at least conversations had about bringing in Draymond Green. Whether or not it actually got to the Kings putting a dollar figure out there, I'm hesitant because of how fast Draymond ended up signing that deal. It was quite literally the first thing that was announced after that, after the new league year officially started. The first news we got was Draymond Green has signed a 4-year, $100 million extension with the Golden State Warriors. So
you think he's fake flexing a little bit? I had substantially larger offers elsewhere.
Yes,
I chose to stay where I am.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was from Detroit where, that's his hometown. He played at Michigan State. There's been a lot of connections there. Maybe I could see them offering him something like that because it could be beneficial to bring someone like him into that locker room and try and establish some sort of winning culture in Detroit. But for Sacramento, it just wouldn't have made a lot of sense. That's just a lot of
I agree.
Especially when we read Monty McNair's interview yesterday and he's talking repeatedly about flexibility, keeping options open. And, if you bring on Draymond Green for $30 million,
no, I agree.
There's just no way you can move on from that.
Mm-hmm.
So that it just doesn't seem like a very Monty move to actually get to the offer. Again, I'd be shocked if they didn't at least have a conversation about it, but whether or not it got really serious at any point, I that's where I'm kind of have my reservations.
That is one of the most fascinating aspects of the interview with Monty McNair. And again, Anthony Slater joins us bottom of the hour. It was discussed in the piece. You made reference to a Monty move. Doesn't seem like a Monty move. I think we have a clearer idea of what that means now, but really, are we sure what a Monty move is? Because we may have touched on this yesterday. He cut his teeth at the feet of Daryl Morey, who makes big, splashy moves. So is he just the more methodical guy, or is that dictated by circumstances here?
Yeah.
Or he's a big, swing for the fences, Halliburton for Sabonis type guy? I'm not sure we know what a Monty decision is. It looks like right now that it's a very methodical, one step at a time approach.
Yeah, I think, after a couple of years here and there hasn't really been any major moves. As a matter of fact, I feel like there's been more deadlines where Kings fans are clamoring for do something, whether it was a couple of years ago, trade Harrison Barnes before his contract's expiring, or, making the Sabonis move obviously was a big move. But even before that, people were like, we need to do something. And when he did do something, people didn't feel like it was the right move. And then last deadline, again, people clamoring for a backup center, and then Monty just bringing in Kessler Edwards. I think he is very reserved, and he feels like he's not going to make a move just to make it. He is only going to make moves that he feels like he's thought about thoroughly, talked about, fleshed out completely. What are the positives? How could this thing go as good as possible? How could it go as bad as possible? And that's when he makes the move. It doesn't seem like anything he does is just, for example, the Kings have the notorious story of just taking Thomas Robinson in the draft because they couldn't believe he was there. Ben McLemore, similar story where it's like they couldn't believe he was there, and so they hopped on the opportunity. Monty's not going to do that. He's going to say, okay, we need to do the legwork on it. We can't just take him because he's available. Was he high on our, all that stuff. It's just Monty seems to be a lot more calculated.
Was he high? That's Laramie Tunsil you're thinking.
Right, exactly. Yes, yeah. Laramie Tunsil, famously very high.
Right. But a good player.
Yes, great player.
How much do you think it kills Draymond that Jordan Poole's contract is for more money?
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if he really even thinks about it because, at the end of the day, Draymond probably got a lot more than what he probably should have gotten. It probably doesn't feel great, but at the end of the day, he's the one who's on the great team.
I have much more lucrative offers elsewhere, Jordan Poole.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
To stay here.
Maybe truthfully, that could be it, is that he's like, I could have, if I really wanted to, if I was a selfish guy like Jordan, I would have just taken the money, the most money available, but I sacrificed something for this team, and I should be looked at as a hero for taking less money and choosing to stay here, even though I think what Draymond did, the decision he made, was clearly the easiest and best one, honestly, for him as well.
They may end up regretting that too. 4 years, and I don't know what the outs are at the end of that deal.
That's just way too long and way too much money for a guy who's already shown a
back problem.
Major decline.
He's carried a heavy load.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I mean, it's a cliche. It's talked about all the time, but they have played a lot of basketball games, more basketball games than any other team has in these past 5 years by making it to the finals so many times. That wear is different. That playoff wear that it takes on your body it compounds. And, when you've made as many finals runs as they have, that kind of stuff ends up really stacking up, and it'll make your career end a lot earlier than it probably should. And I think we're kind of seeing that with Draymond.
I want to warn you, Chris, because speaking of the Warriors, we have something coming up in regards to, it's something that Iguodala said about his buddy Steph.
Jeez.
And I think it's going to lead, to a poll question here, but you are not going to like it.
I can feel it.
We're coming right back with that. And again, Anthony Slater, bottom of the hour here. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
We're one of the top things on YouTube these days, right there with video of the shooting coach taking down the shooting robot in Japan. Don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Yeah.
I think we may get to
Pretty
that
impressive.
at some point here. That shooting robot. Wow.
It's something. I mean, the fact that, it
play
doesn't
any
miss.
defense.
Doesn't miss. Yeah.
Terrible defensive player.
What would be like the NBA equivalent of that robot? Like if you were to just throw a jersey on that robot, who would you not notice that he's replaced?
It's like kind of Kyle Korver-esque. I know he's not playing.
He would move a lot though.
Yeah.
It's like little PJ Tucker, maybe.
Yeah.
Just standing in the corner, just waiting for it. And just, it's pretty impressive. I would
Very
love to
impressive.
see that thing in action.
Big hands.
Huge
on that
hands,
shooting
creepy
robot.
hands, like some nightmare hands, like some Freddy Krueger stuff. There.
Yes.
Really
By the way,
creepy.
if you guys want to, and it's totally up to the two Chris's, we can play GJE today if you want. Guess Jerry's emoji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's everybody.
Absolutely.
That's everybody's favorite game. Absolutely.
You want to try that now?
Sure.
Yeah, because yesterday we were talking about the old Arco, and I mentioned that I'd heard that Reggie Theus used to go out to the original Arco and he would hunt pheasant with a bow and arrow.
Right.
Yeah. Bow and arrow, shooting a bow and arrow. So I asked Jerry about that. I texted him. He said, yes, he did. No arena at that time. He said, still in the little arena, lots of space.
Huh.
So talking about the first building,
Right.
and
Yeah.
just
The
fields out
warehouse.
there. So so I asked, and you didn't join him? And he said, afraid he might shoot me with an emoji. So the question is, what was the emoji that he had?
Afraid he might shoot me. I assume it's
you
not
can
like
think
the
about it
little
if you
water
want.
gun pistol.
No, it's not that,
Okay.
which was kind of a
Yeah.
sneaky way of guessing without guessing.
Yeah.
It's not the water gun pistol.
I
right?
assume
Yeah.
it's not because let's say Jerry used the let's say the teeth emoji.
Ooh, that was
Where
mine.
he's like, ooh.
That's what I would have.
That's what I would have used.
Yeah.
Okay, so since you're taking that, I'll take like the look, like the embarrassed, like red cheeks.
Maybe Target.
Well, here it is, because I'm not really familiar with that. emoji.
It's like a spicy emoji. Like
Yeah,
like the tongue is out and like there's a sweat.
Angry,
Like,
sweating, tongue hanging
gotcha.
out.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Tongue
like-
out.
Yeah,
sweating.
like he's been running for his life. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So no winners today.
Yeah, no
Jerry's
winners
emoji.
today. Jerry's got to keep us guessing.
I will say though, Jerry's emoji game is on point.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good,
Mhm.
especially if you're. Yeah, I mean that's
It's
not mainstream.
outstanding.
That's his own feeling. It's pretty good. Pretty good.
It's
It's elite emoji use there from Jerry.
Now you're not going to like this, okay? I've put it off as long as I can.
You keep saying it, and I'm scared.
You know, Steph Curry won that golf
Wardell,
thing.
yeah.
Although it's the more you look
I think
into
Steph
it.
Curry is the guy who plays basketball. Wardell is the guy who plays golf.
Okay, Wardell won the golf tournament. Although the more you look into it, the more it's like really tainted through no fault of his own.
Right.
But the picture of him holding his latest trophy was on social media, and so his good buddy Andre Iguodala, responding on Twitter, declared that Steph Curry was the greatest athlete of our time.
Okay, buddy.
The tweet went viral, has been viewed over 1 million times. Andre Iguodala declaring that Steph is the greatest athlete of our time. Okay,
This is
if he's not, who is?
I
will say this about Steph. You know, there was a time just a couple of years ago where you couldn't even get most people to admit that he belonged in the top 10 of NBA players all time.
Right.
You know, the consensus
Yes,
was,
absolutely.
yeah, he's great, but he's been on great teams.
Yeah.
And really, push comes to shove, he can't do it himself. And he did that against Boston. And I think he's changed that narrative. But greatest athlete of our time.
Yeah, no, just absolutely not. That's just an absolutely
You're
ridiculous.
not even going to consider it?
No, I'm not, because that's just an absolutely ludicrous statement to make. I mean, that's like, it's the equivalent of Max Kellerman saying, you know, anybody on the Warriors, aliens are coming down, fate of the universe, give me Iguodala. Like, what? Like, greatest athlete of all time.
I want Iguodala.
No way. Like, there's a 0% chance that Steph Curry is the greatest athlete of all time. How about, you know, LeBron James, who is a physical freak? If the argument is, oh, he didn't play two sports, you know, I think LeBron, and he's said it more than once, he believes he could have played football. I think LeBron James could have been the greatest tight end that has ever lived, ever stepped on this planet.
I'm with you on this. I don't think winning the golf thing, I mean, it's interesting, but
Yes.
it's not even a real tournament.
Right.
And
the point system's
yeah,
shaky to say the least.
What a great athlete. He won a golf tournament. Patrick Keller on the YouTube chat says, calm down, Iggy. LeBron exists.
Exactly.
He says also Tom Brady. But Tom Brady doesn't play now.
Okay,
I
and
think
this
it's at
is
least got to be somebody who's active.
This becomes a slippery slope, too, of like, are we talking athletic ability?
I guess it's open to
Or
some
are we saying
interpretation.
the greatest person at athletics?
Greatest athlete of our time. To me, if you say greatest athlete, that means as an athlete.
Yes.
As an athlete, they must be great.
And
I want
saying-
to see if we can put together a poll question here, but we have to come up with some other alternatives.
When I hear athlete,
Yeah.
especially if we're like focusing on the athlete word, like Steph is not flying through the air, especially like his game. He runs a ton, and that is absolutely like his endurance
Gotta
is
be an athlete
incredible.
to do that.
His
He's
his
in the
ability,
best
his
shape of any player in the NBA.
balance, incredible. But when you use the term athlete, there's just clearly better examples of like stunning athlete. Like John Morant, I would say, is probably a better athlete than Steph
But
Curry.
is he the greatest athlete of our time, John Morant?
No, he's not. But that's more just saying I can pick a guy who's definitely not the greatest athlete of our time.
Can I give you one?
Sure, please.
Shohei freaking Ohtani.
Shohei freaking Ohtani, who is incredible. I just heard a podcast. I think it was Mookie Betts' podcast. He had Mike Trout on. Those are two of the best baseball players playing the game right now, both of which are like, I have no idea how this guy does it. Like, it makes no sense to us. They were talking about how long do you think he can do it? 5 or 6 years. Even that's ridiculous because there's no, like, it's almost unfathomable how he's able to be an elite pitcher and an elite hitter at the same time. It doesn't make sense.
Steph Curry is the best shooter we've ever seen.
Shohei
Ohtani is the best at
He's
doing
the
whatever
goose?
Because
Goose.
that's right. Shohei's the best at what he does. In fact, he's the only one who's ever done what he does. And I know, Babe Ruth was a pitcher, but Babe Ruth stopped pitching. It's like, you're such a good hitter. You're going to be a hitter now. And Ohtani does both.
He does both.
And he's excellent at both.
And, you know, to an extent, like, there is a little bit of, with Ohtani, like, there was pressure coming in. Like, it's like, okay, we hear so much about this guy. can he really do it on the major league level? He struggled in his first spring training. People are like, oh my God, I think this guy's a fraud completely. And then he did it. Like, he actually is able to do it. The fact that he actually produced it as well, that more just adds to the lure of it. But
I think LeBron does belong. If you were going to have a poll, I think LeBron belongs on that.
Oh, absolutely. He's the
past his prime, but he's still freaking LeBron.
He's the most freakish athlete I think I've seen. I mean, again, if we're talking just athlete, like, Russell Westbrook is a ridiculous athlete. Like, if Russell Westbrook would have played soccer or something, like, he would have been the best at, if he was a goalie, if he was a striker, any of that stuff, he would have been incredible.
It's interesting to me that you're naming guys who are good athletes, but they haven't won much, because on some level you don't want to acknowledge Steph's greatness in that area.
No, because
you're in denial about all that Steph Curry has accomplished.
Athleticism,
in terms of the championships he's won.
Athleticism has nothing to do with success. If we're just talking raw,
but greatest talented, athlete, you have to take into account accomplishment.
No, that's the greatest professional career. Like, that's when I'm just maybe hyper fixating on the word athlete. And when you say greatest athlete, I have to think raw athleticism, running, jumping, whatever, just freakish nature. And none of that's, I mean, running for sure, Steph, but nothing else really screams like, oh my God. And also, like, the second sport we're talking about here is golf. John Daly, golf. Like, I'm not saying golf doesn't require athleticism, but if we're saying, oh my gosh, what Deion Sanders, Bo Jackson playing football and baseball where he's running up walls, running through walls, that's athletic ability. We're talking about Steph Curry being a good golfer in his part-time.
In addition to everything he accomplishes on the
Absolutely.
basketball court.
I'm just saying,
is Tom Brady eligible for this?
No,
or
and that's why I'm saying he's not, like,
because he's done.
No, and because
how about Patrick?
Oh, there we go.
How about Lamar Jackson? How about Tyreek Hill? Even, like, these guys are athletic. If we're just talking the athletic traits, knocking Steph Curry out the park. Anthony Edwards, absolutely.
I'm going to throw a wild card in there, going off of both years. Crazy athletic ability, accomplishments, winning a bunch at their sport. Katie Ledecky.
Okay.
Because not only is she, like, winning every gold medal, she's
Right.
beating everybody by seconds, and people are like, oh, and she's not at her peak yet.
Sure. Swimmer,
Maybe.
right? Olympic swimmer.
Yeah. I appreciate that it's it's a little off the beaten path. By the way, I apologize when I was talking about Steph and you said Goose. I was talking about greatest shooter, and I thought you said
outside shooter.
Yeah, and I thought you said Deuce, and I was like, what?
Oh no, I've seen his shot.
That's why I'm just wait, what?
Worst athletes of all time, maybe. Come on.
I apologize. All right, so we've still got some work to do to put our poll together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Look, Steph has to be on the list because Iguodala nominated him.
Yeah, he did get nominated.
That's how it all started, is with that.
Fine. I mean, I'll put it on there just to see him get 0%. I'd love it. I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
You would have Jaw on there.
I would not have Jaw on there. I'm just using Jaw as an example of someone who's not an answer, but somebody who is already a
Chris is going to give us all the non-answers.
I can give you all the non-answers. I can give you better answers than Steph Curry.
All right, we're going to get
How
some
about Michael
answers.
freaking Jordan?
Yeah, how about, well, he's not playing currently.
Sure.
Anthony Slater from The Athletic joins us to talk about the Monty interview and just how much the Kings love Sasha. Is Sasha one of the great athletes of our time? We'll find out soon enough. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
He's not.
Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes, Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Thursday, and after a comfortable start to the day, we'll have hazy sunshine for the afternoon, and it's going to feel hotter. Plan for daytime highs reaching 100 to 104. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let us fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $97. Bonnie. Plumbing, sewer, electrical, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Erlod with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that Sacramento Kings forward Keegan Murray, along with Oklahoma City's Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, Detroit's Cade Cunningham, and Houston's Jalen Green will join Team USA for FIBA's World Cup training camp next month. NFL owners are meeting today to formally approve the Commander's sale from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris for a record $6.05 billion. Daniel Snyder bought the team from the estate of Jack Kent Cooke in 1999 for $800 million. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins with our guest from the Athletics, Anthony Slater.
Yeah, very special guest. By now, if you're a Kings fan, you've probably seen the outstanding Athletic interview with Monty McNair that Anthony Slater and Sam Amick put together. Anthony Slater joining us now. Thanks for your time, Anthony. I got to start with this. A little awkward. I apologize, but apparently Sam was on the morning show today, and he said, look, this thing was 90% me, 10% Slater. He says, maybe you asked one question, and he did most of the heavy lifting on it. And I just thought, in all fairness, I had to give you a chance to respond to that. Hello? Did we have
any response?
Anthony Slater?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we can get a response.
Yeah.
I was sending a hateful text to Sam Amick as you were asking that question.
Perfect.
Let's flip that and say 90-10. I'll take 90% of it.
Good.
And we can have internal strife.
Yeah, that's what I figured too, knowing you and knowing him. It sounds like one of the things that really stands out, of course, excellent piece. We appreciate it. Sounds like the Kings are very, very, very excited and high on Sasha Vezenkov, Anthony.
Yeah, for sure. You can understand why. I think it's two reasons. Number one, he, even since they got him, a couple of years ago, has blossomed more overseas. He's 27 now, mid-prime. He just was the EuroLeague MVP. But also, since they had acquired his rights, they, I think in a way, I don't want to say stumbled into a system that is perfect for him, but, rebuilt around Mike Brown and the Sabonis trade is post-Vezenkov, and completely remade their offense into an offense that they believe fits them perfectly, right? What is the number? He had like 275 points on 26 dribbles or something. It's a little Klay Thompson like, but
yes.
he's a backdoor cutter, catch and shoot guy, on the move. And he's big. They're finished at the wing. I don't think he's going to solve their wing defense problems, but I do think he's going to fit really nicely into their offense.
Do you have any sense as to, they're clearly very high on Sasha, and you said in the article that, this could go down as one of the bigger moves in Kings franchise history. Did you get a good sense of how good they feel like Sasha can be, even if it's a couple of years down the line? Like, do they think at some point he could be a starter for this team?
Yeah, you would think in a lot of ways the starting lineup's blocked, but I think, you would consider Barnes' spot maybe most vulnerable,
right?
At this point, or even Herder, I guess, and that's kind of where you could see, depending on how good Sasha is. And there's a lot of unknown, right? It's just like any. Now he's a little bit more of a polished player. You have more, film of him, obviously, because he is 27 years old. He's played so much overseas, but still, you don't know till you drop him in an NBA environment. But yeah, I think they think his offense is going to translate well. Efficient type player. I don't know, maybe just like Utah Jazz, Joe Ingles. Like, does that wow you at all? Maybe, I don't think he's going to be spectacular all-star type, but Joe Ingles was like a high-level role player, rotation player, starter at times for very good Utah teams. So something like that. And then the other thing I've heard from them, they really like his mindset. They think that he's going to fit into the locker room well, and he's like kind of about what they're about.
Anthony Slater from The Athletic joining us. We know that, according to Monty McNair, the Kings kicked some tires on a few other players, so there may not be anything here, but I know Draymond was just talking about, hey, I had some more lucrative offers from other teams. Do you think the Kings made any kind of overtures towards Draymond?
No, I don't think that he's on that list. I think those are some other Western Conference contenders. I think, this has not been explicitly said to me, but I don't think there was a belief that Draymond necessarily fits next to Sabonis offensively. Mm-hmm. I mean, look at the priorities that they continue to, go after. It's all kind of offense first, like shooters, floor spacers, Sabonis and Fox, and they haven't leaned hard into defense, even though, we can obviously look, that's the thing they probably need to shore up most, but I just think there is an organizational belief not to touch the offense too much, right? This was a historic, efficiency team last year, and you continue to see this summer with who they added. I don't think they want to mess with that. I think they believe with a second year under Mike Brown, with maybe if he can convince them to play with the physicality they did in the playoffs in that first round series, they can be good enough defensively. But I just don't think they want to mess with the offense. And to be honest, you guys watch the Warriors, you guys watch Draymond. Like, Draymond and Sabonis as an offensive fit feels a little bit like they'd be playing hot potato out there with, two defenders just completely sagging off them. A little bit like Looney and Draymond. The Warriors have trouble with that at times.
I'm curious, you kind of pointed there to the Kings' plan of internal growth as really the point of improvement for them next year. Do you feel like you've seen enough specifically from Keegan Murray to really buy into everything that they seem to be selling this offseason, that he could really be a one to take a massive leap going into next year?
I don't know that I buy like Kawhi Leonard 2.0
right
on the way to Sacramento. But offensively, yes. Like, he's really, he wowed as a rookie. And just like, if he was just who he was as a rookie, he's one of the best catch and shoot, role-playing weapons in the league. I think he hit 41% of it, he hit like 196 catch and shoot threes. He does it on the move. That is like, as you saw last season, like, it unlocks different parts of the offense. But now what they're trying to get more out of him is, can they give him the ball late in the clock? And if De'Aaron Fox is off the floor, hey, look, De'Aaron Fox, tweaks an ankle, has to miss 5 games. In those 5 games, can Keegan Murray run a bunch of pick and rolls if they feel like that's needed in a particular matchup? Can he go get 30 where it's not just, him off ball, it's some on ball stuff? And their belief increasingly from what they've seen, in front of us in Summer League, but also behind the scenes, is yes. And I would agree that I'm, starting to lean more to that side. Like, I think he's got a chance to be a high efficiency 22, 25 points per game guy, maybe, relatively early in his career. And then, but where I would push back more against the Kawhi stuff is like, Kawhi was a defensive player of the year. And I still am not sure on Keegan Murray. I think he's going to have the smarts to play team defense. I think he's going to have the willingness that a lot of times you need, but I still don't see him from a speed, physicality standpoint being able to be really an average or above average wing defender, which I still think is the Kings' problem long term if we're actually truly talking about trying to win a title.
Anthony Slater from The Athletic with us. And towards the end of the piece, Anthony, towards the end, when clearly Amick had checked out and you're doing all the heavy lifting to try to bring this thing home. Yeah. Monty talks about how things don't always progress in a linear nature. Was that maybe on some level an acknowledgement that, hey, things really went well for us last year and they're not going to necessarily go our way as well as they did last year every season?
Yeah, I remember as part of that conversation, I don't even know if we put it in, but it was like kind of an acknowledgement that we can't just say, hey, we got to make the second round of the playoffs. They need to go into the season like, hey, we need to make the playoffs. It's not just because you made it last year. You like box checked, you're automatically in the following season. So there was a little of that. And also that was wrapped into, kind of a comment, which I thought was pretty revealing, but about the fact that, yes, it may seem like they are going the stability, route right now and bringing everybody back, but they have purposely left their cupboard pretty full to make big moves. And I mean, he said that on the record, right? It's like we have almost all of our first round picks, all of our seconds. We got tradable contracts that we can pile together. And I mean, you know what the league is now. There's 2 to 3 to 4 big trades per year. And he's of the belief when the timing is right, if they feel like an upgrade is needed, if it's not going as linear as they were hoping this year, they, Monty McNair from the Daryl Morey school might pull the trigger on something like that.
You mentioned them leaning into stability this offseason. A big part of that was the Sabonis extension, and a lot was made of the money that he ended up getting. I'm just curious, you personally, how do you feel about the Sabonis extension? Did you feel like it was just? Did you feel like they were kind of competing against nobody else and offered him too much? I'm just curious your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they wanted to just play hardball and like try to get him to as low a number as possible, they could have taken it into unrestricted next summer, with the belief that, hey, is there another team willing to pay the type of money that he just got? The answer is probably no. It probably would have been lower. But then you're playing hardball with the guy that you're telling that he's the franchise, him and Fox are the franchise. And you're not only doing that, you're having him in a walk year. What are all the questions next season if Domantas Sabonis is not only in a walk year, but there's rumblings behind the scenes that the Kings are trying to get him back on a discount and maybe he'll explore the market, and hey, he's in a 10-game slump and the trade deadline's coming up, do they need to get off him? To me, some of their overpayment, you might say, was to just squash that. Now you go into next season, everybody knows this is a Fox and Sabonis team long-term. I know one of the things that Monty said he liked most about what they have building is pretty much everybody besides Malik Monk in their rotation has at least 2 years, and then most of their main guys have 3 years, including their 2 best players, are just locked into long multi-year deals. I think it's a valid question to wonder if those two can be the 1 and 2 on a title team in the NBA. But I mean, they raised expectations last year. Maybe they can do it again.
Well, you don't need us to tell you it's an excellent piece. Thanks, Slates. We appreciate your time very much. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, fellas.
Thank you.
Nice.
I love to hear confirmation bias from me. And Slater admits right there, like it was a great question. Kings don't have to make the second round next year. And like you said, I think that was a bit of Monty confirming that, progression isn't always like first round, second round, third round championship. Sometimes, it's just about making sure. And that's what I think the Kings really did this offseason is just make sure that you're in a position to repeat the success that you had last year.
We run the
got to do it sometimes. Might not be the most sexy thing to do, but sometimes, you just have to, you've got to bank on, or you've got to make sure that what you've built is something sustainable. You can't just say, oh, last year we were good, so that guarantees that next year we'll be good and we can just keep on building from it. You sometimes you gotta raise your floor and make sure that your foundation is solid before you can actually move on to build bigger pieces. And I think that's what they did. I think some people had a hard time coming to grips with that.
Yeah, and if you haven't checked out that interview yet, and you're a Kings fan, do yourself a favor. Yes,
do it.
Excellent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, very interesting.
Really interesting.
Coming up next, the real Deebo. Please stand up. It's next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. Golf to Go. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
If you're hiring, it can feel like trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. Like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Now try ZipRecruiter free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/FREE.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation and irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines, such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you find the right customers. Spread awareness of your product or services. We can help build trust in your brand and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
Whitey. Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Need to get our candidates together for our YouTube poll. Chris Watkins, avoiding this whole thing. I understand why, Chris, but I think it's going to work out for you. I think you're going to be pleased with the results.
I think so, too.
Andre Iguodala declared that Steph Curry, who's not Chris's favorite athlete.
Definitely not.
Iggy says that, he doesn't like that. Iguodala says that Steph Curry is the greatest athlete of our time. So, poll question.
Our time? Like, who is our time, Iggy? Like, come on. Like,
well, those people who are alive now, those of us who are alive now, this is our time.
There's just no way. Like, there's no world in which this is true. And I would love to even try and make the argument, but there's none there.
Okay, then make the argument in favor of 3 others. Who do we say? We say
It's got to be
Shohei
LeBron.
Ohtani.
I mean, it's got to be LeBron.
Okay.
Shohei absolutely deserves to be on that list for sure.
And then do we want to put it like Mahomes? I mean, if we're talking of our time, 2 Super Bowls already. We need to look at the commercials, the Q factor, the X factor, the accomplishments.
Chris, can you help me out here? Because I just think I'm really struggling with this athlete term. Like, am I overthinking like the athleticism?
I kind of get what you're saying, because like Lionel Messi, I don't think anyone would say is an amazing athlete.
Exactly.
But he's like the greatest soccer player of all time.
Exactly.
So,
I think which
obviously requires a level of athleticism, but it doesn't mean that you are the supreme athlete on this planet.
I think, what do you think, Christopher Lott? To me, if you take it as literally as you're taking it, I understand it. Certainly you're right. Then you end up in a place different from what Iguodala is talking about.
But how do we know what Iguodala is talking about?
Well, because he's obviously, if he says Steph Curry is the greatest athlete, he's not just talking about, he's more athletic.
What I am kind of translating through thinking that way now is Andre Iguodala is almost coming out and saying like, if Steph Curry puts himself in a competition, he's going to win it.
Wow.
See, I'm reading this as Steph Curry just wins this golf tournament. And so now Andre Iguodala is now saying, oh, he can play basketball at an elite level and also golf at an elite level. There's not many or anybody else who can do such a thing of being so elite at 2 separate sports. And I'm saying there's no way on this earth that Steph Curry is my candidate to be that one who is supreme at 2 different sports.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know
there aren't
where
that many 2-sport athletes now going, are there? How many 2-sport athletes are there?
Right now, I mean, not currently.
Like Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
is
that's
like the
Kyler
last
Murray.
one.
Russell Wilson played baseball too. Patrick Mahomes did get drafted in the baseball draft. I mean, there's not many, but also I don't know. It's different times now. Kids don't play multiple sports growing up. You kind of pick one, especially if you're elite, and you just kind of ride that wave. Why can't Marty Fish be on this list? He's a great tennis player. Granted, he retired from tennis.
He's not as good at Steph as either his main sport or golf.
I
will
like
argue
yours.
He's better at golf.
I like yours of Mahomes because it kind of gives us the best at each major sport in America.
Yeah.
I just feel like if we have us 3 have 3 different definitions, and maybe Andre, whatever. It's a poll. Let the people decide. Let the people decide.
Okay.
I think that's fine, Chris. I think you're right. Having the best in each individual sport is a good way of going.
Yeah.
And we'll let the people decide.
And if you wanted to go, if you want to throw a wild card in there, Christopher Lawn, you're welcome to. But otherwise, those are solid. Katie Ledecky's a great idea.
Ledecky's a great idea. I think, Ronaldo. I mean, if we're talking like sick athletes, like the best soccer athlete.
Who won the Kentucky Derby? Let's go with the horse that won the Kentucky Derby.
See, that's the thing too, because like there's such in sports, it doesn't matter if you're the best athletic person. That doesn't mean that you'll be good at that sport.
Exactly.
Right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's true.
DK Metcalf. People looked at DK. I mean, DK's incredible, but if you just go off of like appearance wise, you're going to say DK Metcalf can gas Adam Thielen every day of the week, but it's not how it works. So
Adam Thielen's a relic.
I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, I would go Curry, LeBron, Mahomes, and to me it's Shohei.
I think that's the right. I think that's the right list.
Yeah.
I think okay, cool. We've got it. We've agreed.
Our YouTube poll.
Yes, we've agreed on the candidates.
Help Chris.
Yeah, help me.
Don't vote for Steph.
I'm the one who needs help here.
Hey guys, also don't be a jerk and just pick Steph Curry because you'll make Chris mad. Don't do that at all. That's not what we want.
That would be awful.
Not stress this enough.
Oh, that would be not kind.
That would not be kind at all.
We don't want anyone doing that, do we?
If Sacramento wants Steph Curry to win, go ahead and vote for him. That's crazy. I just thought he was our rival. I thought we literally played audio the other day of Steph saying he didn't like the beam chance. But, if Sacramento wants to vote for that guy, to each his own, whatever.
Yeah.
Who am I to judge?
He's not favored, but we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
The people. will decide.
Yes, as always.
Meanwhile, with camps getting ready to open all over the NFL, and you got rookies reporting here and there, saw this today, SI.com, X factors for each team. It's like, okay, all right, I'll look. San Francisco 49ers. Which Deebo Samuel are the 49ers getting? Now, to be honest, when I first saw Deebo X factors, like, come on, we know what Deebo
Obviously,
can do.
right.
But I thought this was interesting. While it's easy to expect a bounce back year from Samuel, should we? History says his all-pro campaign could be the outlier. I had not considered that, Chris. In 2021, Deebo became a superstar in San Francisco.
Yeah.
1,770 total yards, 14 touchdowns. In his other 3 years, Deebo has combined for 2,271 total yards. That's 2,271, pardon me, and 12 scores.
Yeah.
So will the real Deebo please stand up? You've got the superstar Deebo and 3 other years of him being between not that great and pretty good.
I'm upset.
What's going on?
I didn't read this article, and I'm upset that they pulled those numbers because I pulled those same exact numbers, and that is my exact evidence to, there is something there. I think that Deebo Samuel, he had an incredible year. You want to talk about a crazy athletic year? That was a season where it was like, I don't think anybody else in the NFL can do, especially from the receiver position, can do what Deebo Samuel did in that 2021 campaign. He just hasn't been that guy since then. I mean, his rookie season was his best receiving season besides that 2021 season, had 802 yards receiving in his rookie year. That was in 15 games. He just hasn't really shown the consistency year after year to do it. And it makes sense because, after that 2021 season, the questions were, how long can this guy do this?
Right.
I mean, running backs, we well documented how beat up they get and how shortened their career is just by playing the position. You got to wonder if maybe Deebo wasn't really built for that, being a
Great
receiver.
point. Yep.
And maybe, we're only going off of 1 year removed from that so far, 1 season removed from that. It would appear that might have really done some damage to his career long term. And, I don't think moving forward, especially with Christian McCaffrey on the roster, I doubt Deebo's going to be in the backfield as much as he was. So the question becomes, how good of a wide receiver is Deebo Samuel? And I think we're going to find out this year.
Yeah, I think there are 2 things that explain this disparity. One is encouraging for the 49ers and Deebo. The other is not. We'll look at that. Also, we come back with this question. Can you name the only 2? There's 2 teams on the 49ers schedule this year that they are not favored to beat. Can you think of the 2 teams on their schedule this year that so far, according to odds makers, they are not favored to beat? It's coming up when we come back here. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was all.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Cal had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. I'll never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week, keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relief, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, how young are the A's these days? Well, according to statistician David Feldman, when the A's took the field against the Red Sox in the 17th, in terms of games played in the big leagues, the A's lineup that night, which featured the likes of Tyler Soderstrom and Zach Geloff, was the least experienced since the A's played a game as the Philadelphia A's back in 1954. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that trying to name your bike.
How about the Crusher? I guess it's not really crushing anything. The Silver Bolt? No. Oh, what about Pepper? Mysterious. Is it a pet or a condiment? Surprise! It's a motorcycle. No, that's stupid.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting and waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
Wells Fargo gives you access to direct deposit funds up to 2 days early.
Plus, if you look at the X and Y axis,
what if everything came 2 days early? Like the weekend.
Well, that was a pleasant surprise.
You can't get everything early, but when it comes to direct deposits, you can with Wells Fargo.
Visit wellsfargo.com/get-early to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Not all direct deposits are eligible. Early availability is not guaranteed and may vary between deposits from the same payer. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber, down the lane, flying jam. There's your play of the night right there. Inside is Sabonis, a two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that Sacramento Kings forward Keegan Murray, along with Oklahoma City Thunder's Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, Detroit's Cade Cunningham, and Houston's Jalen Green will join Team USA for FIBA's World Cup training camp next month. NFL owners are meeting today to formally approve the Commander sale from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris for a record $6.05 billion. Daniel Snyder bought the team from the estate of Jack Kent Cook in 1999 for $800 million. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Congratulations to Keegan Murray. Going to go to the Team USA World Cup training camp. Congratulations. A little premature here, but to Chris Watkins, because Steph is not winning our poll on the greatest athlete of our time.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it so
and
much.
we give it back to you, the people.
Is that Bane? Oh my goodness, it's been a while. That's great to see. Great to see. And
Very
LeBron.
early.
And
Painfully
LeBron's
early.
first. Painfully
Yeah.
early. Very,
And you
very
like
early.
LeBron. You're a LeBron guy, right?
LeBron, LeBron supporter for sure. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that man is quite literally built different. Like, I mean, I've just never seen anybody his size, his strength, his speed, his leaping ability, his vision, his mobility, all of that and more. I mean, I just think he is truly, like, when you use the term a generational athlete, he is what comes to mind as a just absolute physical freak. Let's not forget the guy's 6'9", and he moves the way he does.
By the way, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 on the text line from the 916. And I wish you put your name on it.
Put your name on it.
Knock, knock. Usain Bolt, Olympic athletes. Yeah, but they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, Christopher Ladd mentioned Katie Ledecky. They're not competing every year, obviously. So
right.
Best athletes of our time.
Right.
Usain Bolt.
Sure.
Maybe of his time, but
sure.
He's not even active anymore, is he? Is he retired?
He is retired.
Yeah. But otherwise,
to add to the two-sport thing, he does play soccer, and he does. I think he feels like he could play it at a semi-pro level, but yeah.
Well,
I've seen him play in the celebrity games. He's a big Man United
he
fan.
feels like he could.
He feels like he could. Absolutely.
I want to say he got a tryout somewhere and it didn't do well.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a.
Yeah. I mean, he's ridiculous. I mean, he's the fastest man alive, without a doubt. I mean, if we're talking athletic ability, sure, like being the fastest man alive qualifies you as an athlete, I would say. But
I could watch him run all day, just especially in slow-mo, because it's like he's a step or two behind, and then it's just something happens,
just legs.
And then there you go.
Oh, that picture of him just looking like he was planning it.
So good. So good. I miss Usain Bolt, just absolute dominance. But
yeah,
greatest I mean, sure, maybe if it was a little more topical, maybe he would deserve a shout. But I'm very much okay with the list that we ended up getting, except for Wardell.
It all starts with Wardell. Anyway, that's our YouTube poll. We've been talking about the 49ers. Deebo Samuel, according to Sports Illustrated, an X factor this year. It's like, really? Why? Well, because the fact of the matter is he's had one great year and 3 other years. So which is the real Deebo? And you touched on it. I think there's 2 things that explain that. One could be that they finally figured out how to use him, that it took him a couple years to figure out what they had there. And then, wow, look at that. He had his greatest year, and then he kind of fell off the next year because he wasn't prepared or whatever he says. But the other side of that coin, as you said, is he had that great year, and he got pounded because he ran the ball so much, and he wore down, and we may never see that guy again. I hope not, but it's on the board.
Right. I mean, absolutely. And, Rockin' New Era here in the chat says the real Deebo always gets hurt, unfortunately. And that's kind of the story of Deebo as well, is he can't stay healthy in general. Like, forget, him wearing down. It's almost like he doesn't get an opportunity to even seriously wear down his body after that 2021 year, because he's always off the field every season, with the exception of that 2021 year. He's missed games. He's had to miss at least multiple games due to injury. And, part of what's the saying, the best ability is availability. And, it's really tough, especially when the Niners have as many weapons as they do. Like, Deebo, if you're not going to be available, it's not like they 100% need you. You're absolutely a big cog in the machine that is the 49ers offense, but I don't want to. You're kind of replaceable. Like Deebo, Brandon Ayuk's a terrific receiver. George Kittle can be a great receiver. You have a running game in Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell that's very legitimate. He's got to stay healthy if he wants to continue to be the Deebo Samuel and to kind of have that, that mystique that we talk about him with.
Remember the story? Mike McDaniel told the story. I think it was after the Dallas playoff game. Would have been a couple years ago, where he said that's when they're in Dallas, not the game last year here, but they're in Dallas and they need a big first down. And Deebo basically tells the coaches, "You give me the ball, I'll get it."
Right.
And he did. And Mike McDaniel says, "I've never seen anything like that before."
No, I mean, he's an animal. He is. Don't get it. I mean, when he plays, he's terrific. And, he's got just such crazy athleticism that, he can play wherever he wants. And if you do get him the ball, you just figure the rest out later. But, I think that, he's going to come, his contract's coming up. they're going to have to make a decision on him and if he's going to be a part of their long-term plans. And I wonder if this season could be, if you want to look at it, an opportunity for the 49ers to explore, okay, what does this offense look like if we lean less on Deebo and more into guys like Ayuk, and can we survive without Deebo? Because Deebo could be somebody who's going to request a ton of money, and with that, it's going to probably come at the sacrifice of a couple of their other pieces, and they got to determine, is that worth it moving forward?
But you got to cross that bridge when you come to it, right? Because if Deebo's anything close to what he was 2 years ago, you ride that out.
Oh,
because
sure.
he's so just transformational.
Right.
And your offense, which is excellent already, you have McCaffrey at a high level and Deebo playing like he did 2 years ago. And all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost,
I don't want to say unstoppable, but tough, very tough to stop.
Absolutely. I wonder if it is even a perfect balance that they have to find, because, yes, it would be on the football field. It would be great to have Deebo be his absolute best, but I think you do have to take into account, or John Lynch at least, I don't know if he can get into the ear of Shanahan. It seems like Shanahan runs everything anyway, but you have to consider, like, okay, if we rely a crazy amount on this guy, what does that mean for our future? Like, it's going to be at the expense of other people. So I don't know. I think Deebo's a terrific guy, and the more times you can get him the ball, absolutely, you're better off for it. But
yeah,
the
whole key is what happened last year. Why, Deebo says I wasn't ready, whatever. Was that it? Fine. If he wore down under the heavy workload of 2 years ago, then we may not see that Deebo again. So it is an important question to be answered going forward. Are you a betting man?
No, not really. I'm a conservative betting man.
Okay.
I'll take measured bets.
So you just don't like to admit it. It's basically.
I don't go big. I'll take small risks, but I will not take a big risk. Absolutely not.
And I know you got one of these right away, and I phrased it improperly when I first asked you. There's actually two teams on the 49ers schedule. I'd first asked, I'd said there's one team that they're not favored to beat, according to the odds makers right now. Yeah, and you got one right away, but there's actually two teams that, according to ESPN, the 49ers right now are not favored to beat. Can you name them?
I would guess the Eagles for sure. I mean, just the fact that the Eagles handled them in the NFC Championship game, and that's going to be a road game. I would assume the Eagles are one of them.
Week 13, the Eagles are giving 3, so that's correct.
There we go.
49ers are a 3-point underdog.
If I had to guess, I'll say the Bengals. How about the Bengals in week 8?
49ers are 3-point favorite week 1, 5-point against the Rams week 2, 5.5 against the Giants week 3, 10 against the Cardinals week 4, 2 against the Cowboys.
So they are favored against the Cowboys. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That was my other option. So.
At Cleveland week 6, they're a 1-point favorite.
Really?
Week 7, this should be much higher, 2-point favorite against the Vikings.
You're insane.
That should be like double digits. Week 8, 49ers, a 1-point favorite against the Bengals.
Oh, okay. So it's not the Bengals.
Week 9, bye week. Week 10, 49ers at Jags. That's a pick 'em.
What?
Yeah.
I mean,
right now, that's a pick 'em. So those are the two teams the 49ers, as of right now, are not favored to beat, the Eagles and the Jags.
I know I said I'm not a betting man and I don't make big bets, but oh boy, I got that. I'm going to circle that one and put it in bold. I know they're on the road in Jacksonville, but it's coming after a bye week. You would think that if anything, the 49ers will be extra prepared for that game.
That's a pick 'em. I'm sorry.
It's
according to Caesar's Sportsbook.
Oh, okay.
Hail Caesar.
What does Caesar know? I mean, that's
Jay Farrow, right? Is Caesar?
Jay Farrow, Caesar. I don't.
In the commercials, isn't that Jay Farrow? Yeah, it's Caesar.
Oh no, that's
JB Smoove.
JB Smoove. Yes, JB Smoove.
That's
I'm
right.
Sorry.
I knew that said it wrong. You're right.
And Jay Farrow does an amazing JB Smoove impersonation.
Does he really?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. That's incredible.
With the Manning brothers and everything. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
JB
Yes.
Smoove is,
I love those JB Smoove commercials also. Those are fantastic. Yeah, I would not I'm really surprised. I would not have guessed that that's the game that they're not favored for. I mean, Jaguars absolutely look like a much improved team last year. I know you're a big Doug Peterson guy, right? You know, it's Trevor Lawrence.
That wasn't very convincing.
Yeah, no, I guess maybe I guess I judged it wrong. I think I could see how the Jaguars would have more hype than what they've had in the past, but I don't know if they're to the level of San Francisco. I know it's a road game, but
Week 12, 49ers at Seahawks. 49ers 1-point favorites.
Okay. That's in Seattle?
Yes, that's the Week 12 matchup.
Okay.
Ravens at 49ers. 49ers at home, 3-point favorites.
Okay.
And then Week 18, Rams at Niners, there's no line, but earlier in the year when they play, the Niners are favored. So they're favored against everybody except the Eagles and then that pick 'em against the Jags. And it sounds like you're on your way to Tahoe.
I will be. Yeah, I'll be going to Tahoe, Reno, wherever you want to go. It's that's really interesting. I mean, I know that they usually will give home teams like a +2 advantage just for being at home, but the fact that they're a pick 'em, I mean, I definitely, I guess we'll have to see where the 49ers are at that point in the season, but I don't know if the Jaguars are going to be that big of a problem. I know they brought in Calvin Ridley via trade last year and he didn't get to play because he was suspended, but that offense is good. It's not fantastic. It's not great. And it's definitely nowhere near as good as much as I hate to admit it, as good as the 49ers offense definitely could be.
Verlaud, I know we got a break here real quick. That 49ers at Vikings Week 7, Niners 2-point favorites. How ridiculous is that line?
Man, I mean,
it should be like 3 touchdowns, right?
I think they're still thinking that Cousins is hurt from last season.
Oh, how about a showcase game for Kirk?
Coming up next, the new rule that's ushering in a wave of NFL nostalgia. We're right back with that. Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
If 10 of the 14 commits to going, I will host a KHTK swim party this summer. I will. But I don't think that's going to happen.
You underestimate the powers of the staff to come together just to make you do something.
My nightmare is being there with like 6 people and hosting, and everyone's looking around like at their watches, like, how long do I have to be at this crappy house with this crappy person?
We get to see you with your shirt off?
Well, duh.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Summertime is a great time to get your home evaluated for solar, and while you're at it, make sure your roof is in good shape for all seasons. Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about ACR Solar and Home Services. Go to acrsolar.com to find out all the different things that they can provide for you. And while we're all watching utility costs go up, along with everything else, why not make the most of the sunshine beating down on your roof? Harness that solar power and cut those rising utility bills while at the same time improving the value of your home. ACR Solar and Home Services makes it easy with a simple evaluation that'll show you just what it would take to get your home generating savings that help your bottom line and help protect the environment. So start now, and while you're there, ACR Solar and Home Services can make sure your roof is in prime condition. So just go to acrsolar.com and start your savings today. ACR Solar and Home Services, quality, value, and integrity since 1979.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
Andre Iguodala says Steph Curry is the greatest athlete of our time. What do you say on our Sactown Sports YouTube poll right now? 43% LeBron, 36% Shohei Ohtani, 14% Steph Curry, 7% Patrick Mahomes. Looks like you're safe. Long ways to go.
Feels good. Feels good to feel good.
Feels great, baby.
Feels great. Feels super. Feels super, baby. Yeah, feels great to just see Wardell's numbers just declining and declining.
Still leading Mahomes.
I think
That's
a
pretty
few
impressive.
Warriors fans have infiltrated the poll because how can you say Steph Curry is better than Patrick Mahomes?
I don't get it. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, how is that's a great point, Chris. How does Patrick Mahomes only has 7%?
Especially when in that golf challenge, the match, who won?
Amazing point right there.
Huh?
Who won?
The best, man. This
When
guy,
going head to head, Patrick Mahomes comes out on top.
like, what is the argument here? On what grounds does Andre Iguodala
It was
step
a
on?
team competition.
Yeah, and Travis Kelce was really doing a great job. He was really helping out Patrick Mahomes in that one. Yeah, Absolutely. Yeah. I heard, we heard about Travis Kelce this last weekend. He was having a great time.
He's enjoying himself.
Yeah, he was absolutely having a great time. And something tells me he was having a great time during that match as well. Patrick Mahomes, what Patrick Mahomes does on the football field is at least equal to the ridiculousness that you see Steph Curry do on the basketball floor. Like, just watch quarterback and tell me Patrick Mahomes is not.
What night is that on? I'm kidding. What night is that on?
Thursdays at 8, 7 Central.
All right, exactly.
Great.
Can't miss
Right.
it. You better TiVo it if you can't be there, or else you're gonna miss it.
Okay, I'll be watching.
Yes, you should. You should definitely watch quarterback. Absolutely. You can also check out. They had the director of quarterback on yesterday on Rami and FP Jr. Had the director FPJ had the director of quarterback on Netflix on their show. You can check out that interview right now at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Mm-hmm. Have you noticed a lot of NFL teams are unveiling new uniforms this year?
I have. It's been great. Yeah, that new rule that they instilled that you don't have to match your helmet with a uniform is fantastic.
Do you know what that's all about? The helmet thing?
No idea.
A couple of years ago, I just read about it yesterday. Because
the NFL is not fun.
Instituted a new rule a couple of years ago that teams did not have to wear the same helmet all year. And that was supposed to be a safety rule because someone determined, they're so bending over backwards to at least make it look like they were preventing concussions. They ruled that you're more likely to avoid concussion if you have a good helmet that fits you. You wear that one helmet all year.
Okay.
So teams can only wear one helmet all year.
That sounds very logical if you're like a high school, but for the
I
NFL,
I have no idea.
I think they can afford.
I would almost think of course, like I'm not an expert at this, but I would think you would want to change them out because if you keep getting hit in the helmet,
I don't know.
They probably get weaker.
I don't know.
Less integrity.
2022, they ushered in a new rule that you can have two helmets as long as everybody has the same two or whatever it is. Anyway, so that's why now you've got teams and they're able to wear helmets that match their alternate uniform. So already this year we've seen the Browns with the throwback to 1950 whatever white helmets, right? We've also seen your Vikings have, and I don't know if the helmets are involved, but they have kind of a throwback look.
Yeah, they're the helmets are slightly different.
Are they?
Not really much noticeable, but it's more like they have gray face masks and the yellow.
So it's like the 1970s.
1960s, 70s throwback. Yeah.
Okay, so we got that. That's throwback. Seahawks just unveiled. Somebody on the YouTube chat mentioned their 90s throwbacks.
Those are beautiful. Those look. I know you're not a Seahawks fan, but man, those are. They look so good.
Was when they wore those uniforms.
They look great. I absolutely love
Jim Zorn in them. Yeah.
Look, they would look great on a starter jacket. That's.
So they have the lime green is not part of that. It's more of just a silver and blue thing.
Yes.
Yeah. The Bucks, I think, are wearing some of the creamsicles this year.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Which you mentioned the helmet. They didn't want to bring back the creamsicle jerseys with the pewter helmets because that didn't work. But now it's like, okay, we'll go back to the old helmet as well.
That.
The Eagles have been selling Kelly green jerseys.
Love those.
Suggesting that they have something going on. The Titans are supposed to be introducing something soon. And the word is
Oilers.
They're going to be Houston Oilers like.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's the best uniform in sports, in my opinion.
Really?
I think that Houston Oilers, the baby blue, I don't know. What about the red and the white looks great too. The logo is really cool. It fits. It's an oil rig. Like it just looks great. Everything about it just looks fantastic.
To me, baby blue is a great color for like a boy's nursery. And it's a terrible color for a football team. Baby blue? For football?
Yeah,
I know I like those uniforms, but really, if I had the same problem when the Kings wore those. It's like, really? You want to run around like a bunch of Smurfs out there?
Like the Chargers baby blue either? That didn't do it for you?
Oh, I like them. It's two different things. I understand. It's like, yeah, those are aesthetically pleasing, but if it was up to me, my football team would never wear light blue.
Why? It's not like intimidating enough?
Exactly. I know it's dumb, but yes.
But isn't that even more intimidating?
It's like
if you wear something not intimidating.
Yeah.
Maybe. I guess I'm not smart enough to follow that.
I'm doing this because my soccer team is light blue.
Yeah, that's a great point also.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I know like Carolina, that's technically Carolina blue. But for me, a football team, it's not a team. It's not a color, pardon me, I'd ever have my team wear.
I think it looks great. I've never really thought about it much on the field, but just as like a jersey you could buy at a store, I just think the baby blues work 10 out of 10 times.
I read research once, and this is probably really dumb, but it's stuck in my head, that teams that wear darker colors in football, and you wear like the home, you wear a black jersey, they tend to do better. And I'll bet you that was really, really iffy research. I just remember that, and it stuck in my head.
Interesting.
I think that might be because Dallas always wears white, and they always lose. So it's like,
maybe that's what it is.
Exactly.
Speaking of these,
do you see the
uniforms,
Browns? Do you see the Browns' new uniforms?
Yeah, I know
they're
the
all
white helmets.
Yeah, very interesting. I don't hate them. I don't know if I love them, but I like that they're different.
I like those because I think I know something about, helmets and things, and I didn't know the Browns ever wore white helmets.
Didn't either. Yeah, it says that they wore them this is the first time they will wear white helmets since 1951. So apparently they've been wearing those orange nasty helmets for 70 years now. And I think the white's better than the orange. That's what I'll say.
This is unfortunate. The Colts have unveiled some new uniforms, and people are making fun of them.
Oh no, that is the worst.
The Indiana Knights alternate uniform, and I think they just announced those today.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Indiana
them
boys on them Indiana Knights.
They're not great. I mean, they're blue. They the jerseys themselves look more like Detroit Lions jerseys, and then they're black helmets. It doesn't really flow very well. It doesn't look like the Colts. If they didn't wear the helmet, you would have no idea it's a Colts jersey. It's not good. They're really, really bad. Nothing is worse to me than when you try and make this big presentation of oh yeah, finally our team's getting new jerseys, and they completely flop. And these appear to be a complete flop.
I think there are certain uniforms and logos you don't mess with. I don't like the Yankees or the Dodgers, but the Yankees
don't
Dodgers,
mess with the pinstripes.
Classic.
Yeah.
The Packers helmets, that's a classic look. I don't like them, but I mean,
debatable.
Didn't
they steal Georgia's logo? Have you ever noticed that Georgia, the University of Georgia in Green Bay, have the literal same exact G?
I'm
just
guessing
different
the
colors?
Packers came first, but I don't know that for a fact.
I'm gonna go with Georgia.
Okay,
just because
I don't
like
know.
The Packers.
And then the Colts, that white helmet with the blue horseshoe with the, how many nails are in it?
No, is that
7
a specific thing
for good luck? Yeah,
oh,
that's why the horseshoes this way. That's for good luck, and 7 for good luck. That's a
I had
classic.
No idea.
Johnny Unitas look, and then we'll have black ones, and I give them credit for something different, but I give them no credit for an ugly helmet.
Yeah, it's ugly. It's a complete fail. I don't know. I think it actually might have looked pretty decent with the white helmets that they normally wear, but I guess with this new rule, everybody's going crazy and everybody feels like they have to do it, and it just doesn't work. I would love to say it worked again. I really love uniforms. It's a weird passion of mine, but the Colts just did not make it work at all. To me, the favorites, I'm a sucker for Kelly Green. Those Kelly Green Eagles jerseys reminds me of the McNabb or the Randall Cunningham years.
Yeah.
They look so saucy. And the eagle, the bird on it as well, looks really, really cool. Big
the
fan.
Packers G came out 2 years before the Georgia.
I hate those.
And even Georgia asked for approval from the Packers to use the G.
Oh my God.
Nowadays, you'd probably never get that.
There is no way.
No, you'd
there is
never
a
get that.
0% chance.
Up next, insiders are saying that this is the only way out of Philly for James Harden. Coming up, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Get all the latest 49ers news heading into the 2023 season on Sactown Sports.
I think Brock was smart, and we kind of facilitated that he met with a bunch of different surgeons. The hope is he's ready for the regular season. We'll take it as it comes, as we're doing. He's working incredibly hard, and the early returns are really good.
Sactown Sports, Sacramento's official home for 49ers football.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Franklin Rosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Heart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit Sactownsports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers, a plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234, or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
At aimyourdigital.com, we'll help you target the right audience, build your leads, and crush your quota. Take your business to the next level. Our digital marketing strategies help grow awareness of your product or service, all while building trust in your business. Our approach involves leveraging multiple tools and strategies to deliver exceptional results that are customized to your unique business needs. Don't wait to run out of sales leads. Keep your business growing. Get started with aimyourdigital.com today.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports Headlines. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that Sacramento Kings forward Keegan Murray, along with Oklahoma City's Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, and Detroit's Cade Cunningham and Houston's Jalen Green will join Team USA for FIBA World Cup training camp next month. NFL owners are meeting today to formally approve the Commander's sale from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris for a record $6.05 billion. Daniel Snyder bought the team from the estate of Jack Kent Cooke in 1999 for $800 million. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Hi, I'm one of the guys from Tears for Fears. I forget my name. Kurt, maybe? Anyway, we always listen to Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. And Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see me and the other guy, Tears for Fears, Toyota Amphitheater on July 29th. Just be caller number...
We'll go 4.
Caller number 4 right now, and you can win tickets to see us, Tears for Fears, Toyota Amphitheater. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Now back to Whitey and Watkins. Actually, I was just listening to Tears for Fears last night.
Really?
Yeah. Songs from the Big Chair. Yeah. So
can't tell you anything about
yeah,
Tears
that was a long time ago. I know, that was a long time ago.
How long are we
Yeah.
talking? Are they like 80s?
85? I mean, and they had stuff in the 90s. I think they still have stuff now.
Yeah.
But they really, I think their heyday was like 80s, early
So like
80s.
a classic rock, like just your traditional rock, or are we talking a little softer rock? Is it even
a lot
rock?
of, 80s synth stuff. The bass player is really good.
Ooh,
really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they're I like Tears for Fears.
Okay. It's an
I'd go to
interesting-
that show, but I can't.
I'm always,
I can't win tickets.
How do people get these names? Like that's the thing. Like how does your band settle on Tears for Fears?
There's probably a story there. Have you ever heard of a band called Blue Oyster Cult?
No, I haven't.
They did that song "Don't Fear the Reaper."
No, I don't have any Blue Oyster Cult tickets.
Do you know how they
Blue Oyster
got their
Cult?
name?
No,
According
I can't
to-
imagine.
They're
Let's
all
just-
sitting around and they were,
Uh-huh.
we need a name for our band.
Right.
And they were drinking this beer called Cully Stout Beer. And someone figured out, hey, if we change the letters, we get Blue Oyster Cult. And they go, okay, we're good. That's our name.
I guess a name is better than no name. I kind of sympathize with that. I've had to come up with a couple podcast names in the past, and that's always like an adventure. It's always something that you spend way too much time on, and then you end up not really liking any option. And it's just like, let's just come up with something. Because at the end of the day, the name really doesn't matter. It's not going to make or break you, but it's something that you always feel like is the most important decision you're ever going to make.
I've heard that the Grateful Dead got their name by just kind of randomly finding a spot in like a dictionary, but then I
Really? Just
but
like
how would
G-
Grateful Dead be in a dictionary? Maybe they did it
Right,
twice. I don't know.
yeah. Well, I know there's a rapper artist, Childish Gambino. He got his just by typing. There's a website where you can do a Wu-Tang name generator.
Oh,
where
really?
you just put your name in there. As a matter of fact, let's just do it right now. Wu-Tang name generator. And it'll spit out whatever your Wu-Tang Clan name would have been. Let's see what mine.
So we need for both of us, so that'll be the name of the show, the Wu-Tang
That's
name of the show.
Great
Yeah.
idea. Let's see here. My name here is Chris Watkins. My Wu-Tang name generator is Hostile Floater.
Okay. All right.
Kind of like it. It kind
I
of
do
works.
too,
Kind of
yeah.
works a little bit.
Why don't you
Okay.
Put Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin Gleason.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Gleason. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if that first one. Guilt without a U.
Yeah.
Guilt Devil.
Guilt Devil and Hostile Floater.
Should I put Verlot in there? Might as well, right?
Yeah.
Let's see if it just always goes. Chris is what was my name again?
You're a Hostile Floater.
Hostile Floater. So I
Yeah.
wonder if Chris will be hostile something. Chris Verlot is Golden Needy.
Golden Needy.
Yes. From this day forward, you'll be known as Golden Needy.
All right, get that new imaging.
Yep.
Here we go. YouTube chat.
Sometimes I go
poll.
by Christopher. What is that?
Let's see. Okay, that's good. Good point. Good point. Let's see. Christopher Verlot. Christopher Verlot is Barbed Knight.
I'll take that.
Okay, Barbed
N
Knight.
or K-N-I-G-H-T?
K.
Okay.
K.
And could you, when you get a chance, put Whitey Gleason in there?
Okay, gotcha. Why not? Why not? Let's just do everybody. Let's do Jason Ross too. Why not? Let's see here. Whitey Gleason. I hope this is good radio. Gilded Tormentor. It's not bad.
Wow.
Gilded Tormentor for Whitey Gleason.
Okay.
These sound. Are you sure you're in the?
It's WuTangClan.net.
I mean, it almost sounds like Game of Thrones characters.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Real quick, our YouTube chat here. Andre Iguodala says Steph Curry is the greatest athlete of all time. What do you say? LeBron 45%, Shohei 40%, Steph
Wow.
10%, Mahomes 5%.
Okay.
And
That's getting
it turns out
close.
there are some people that are admitting they're voting for Steph just
Wrong.
Yeah,
Wrong.
just because they want to irritate you.
This one's my favorite from the Wu-Tang name generator. Jason Ross, Savage Ninja. That's a good one.
Oh man,
That's a good one. That's solid. Let's see here. Let's do Carmichael David too.
All right.
Carmichael Dave. Sorry, this is Illusional Iron Toad is Carmichael Dave. Illusional Iron Toad.
With an A, illusional?
Illusion.
Illusional.
Illusion. Yes.
All
So
right.
there you go. That's your morning and what midday show.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
All
Love
right.
it. Love it.
Anyway, there's the answer to your question.
There you go. Yeah.
How do these bands come up with
Hostile
names?
floater, man. Don't mess with the hostile floater.
Yeah.
I like it.
IPH, sorry, not doing that, band. Nice try. It's an
Sorry.
interesting story.
Next time.
Yeah. Here's the deal on James Harden. According to Shams, the Athletics Shams Serenia, James Harden absolutely wants to trade to the Clippers. Other teams see that, a trade from James Harden to the Clippers, as the only real path to a deal. If James Harden's going anywhere, other teams see the only possibility is a trade from the Sixers to the Clippers. Otherwise, he ain't going anywhere. And if Daryl Morey is going to be true to his word, he's probably not going to send James Harden to the Clippers because they don't have what Daryl Morey is looking for, which is a very good player or something they can turn into a very good player. So James Harden, it looks like he's going to be in Philly for a while, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know who else would even be remotely interested in him besides the Clippers. And you're right. I don't think the Clippers can offer anything that comes close to what Daryl Morey would perceive as appropriate value. I think, the best they could probably give is Norm Powell, who was really, really good for the Clippers in the playoffs, and Terrence Mann could be a young player as well, who I'm a fan of, but that's not getting me excited. Terrence Mann, that's a great
Wu-Tang Clan,
Wu-Tang
Clan name. Maybe he'd be more attractive in a trade.
That's a great point. Terrence Mann, Golden. I don't know what this word is. Cadger. I don't know.
Cadger?
I don't know. I think Terrence Mann is probably a better name than that.
Okay, never mind.
Terrence Mann's I like Terrence Mann a lot. I don't know if Wu-Tang.
Yes.
I don't know if that's enough though. That's the thing. It's just like because if you're trading James Harden, you can't just get rid of him. I mean, I know he doesn't want to be there, but there is, especially Daryl Morey, after holding out all that time for Ben Simmons, you're just gonna fold on this one and say, oh, it's fine, it's whatever, it's the best we could have gotten. I would assume that he doesn't want to bring James Harden into training camp and have that, the drama and everything. Yeah, you don't want those talking points to linger, but at the same time, you're not just going to take a deal because it's the only thing you can get. I just don't see how else. I don't see how this deal gets done between just these two teams.
We had a very interesting chat, as you know, with Keith Pompey from the Philadelphia Inquirer yesterday.
Yes.
The show, check that out, Sactownsports.com. But the Sixers, of course, are dealing not only with Harden, but also with some potential dissatisfaction from Joel Embiid. So they've got their hands full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mess over there. And it's sad because they're so close to being a championship level team, and they just can't figure out this one piece. I mean, I think Nick Nurse is a championship level head coach, obviously winning a championship in Toronto. I think Embiid, obviously MVP, is good enough to get you to a title, but they just can't figure out that second running mate. And it's a really big piece. And, they've tried, we talked with Pompey yesterday. He talked about that Jimmy Butler era felt like the closest they really were to actually being a title team. And since then, they've just kind of been a dog chasing its tail, trying to figure out how to finally get to where they're trying to go. And it's got to be incredibly frustrating as a Philly fan, just because you're so close, and they keep getting these superstars who aren't it. Like, I mean, Ben Simmons was so close to just figuring it out and just being his role player. He lost his mind, and James Harden just doesn't want to be there. It's just, it's tough. It's really, really tough to try and get over that hump and try and be a contender.
By the way, if they end up either not winning with Embiid or they move off of him, either way, that would mean that the process failed. Because isn't he the last remnant of basically of the process?
100%.
Hinkie and the extreme tanking, which actually forced lottery reform.
I'm trying to think if could you already claim that the process failed? I mean, I guess the process is really about getting a star, and they did get the star. He won an MVP.
Yes.
But you do all of it to win a title, right?
Right.
It don't mean a thing without a ring, as the Bulls famously said. So
I mean, you could argue that, hey, if they'd have left Hinkie there, maybe it would have worked. Maybe they pulled the plug on it.
They did.
But
I don't understand. I will never understand why they fired him. I mean, they already let him ruin the team. Essentially, they already went through the toughest part of sucking, and then once they finally made all the draft picks, that's when they decided to let him go and not let him finish the idea. So I don't know. That Philly situation is kind of cursed, it seems like, and of course, Philly fans are notorious for just being absolutely kind and welcoming and understanding folks. So I'm sure it'll go over totally well in Philadelphia this offseason, but it's a situation that they're going to have to tie up because, again, there's no reason why they should bring James Harden into camp and try and have just the Nick Nurse era start with all of this stuff looming in the air. You got to get rid of him for something. It's just,
I think you do. I think, I understand
Can
why.
they get involved in Dame trades? Like, can they make it a 3-way deal somehow?
You have to get rid of him because you know that Harden, you can say, no, we're not going to get rid of him for nothing. But you know what he could do? He can ruin your season. And the next thing you know, I can't play. My toe hurts.
Right.
Whatever.
Or he just shows up out of shape. Like
all of that.
All of it. And it's, you don't want any of that coming to the surface. And so, you know what? As a GM, I think I would probably get to the point where I would say, look, just addition by subtraction, getting rid of this guy and bringing in anybody will be productive for us. But Daryl Morey is not that guy. He's never been that guy. And I think he's going to let this go as long as he feels it's going to require to get what he wants.
Coming up, the worst thing, and there's lots to choose from. The worst thing about Draymond Green's new Twitter beef with Jordan Poole's dad, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No. We tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our client's best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Dawn or dusk, I'm on the hunt. Skeeter here, Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District, and I'm wearing Skeeter Vision, night vision goggles that light up skeeters at dawn or dusk like the 4th of July. Mosquito, 12 o'clock. Got him. So fight the bite by wearing long sleeves and pants at dawn or dusk when they're most active. Apply insect repellent and drain stagnant water. It's a breeding ground.
Dawn or dusk, the Sacramento Yellow Mosquito and Vector Control District reminds you to fight the bite. For more information or to report problems, go to fightthebite.net.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, how young are the A's these days? Well, according to statistician David Feldman, when the A's took the field against the Red Sox on the 17th, in terms of games played in the big leagues, the A's lineup that night, which featured the likes of Tyler Soderstrom and Zach Gelof, was the least experienced since the A's played a game as the Philadelphia A's back in 1954. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Hello, Sacramento. Doug Christie here, and I have something to share. Recently, I asked myself to determine the one most indispensable thing I use to do my job, the one I couldn't do without. The winner, forget the phone, which I live on, and the video editor, which makes my life understandable. The winner was the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Yes, the one I tell you about each week keeps me going comfortably supported, pain relieved, and vital. So it strikes me that if Good Feet is the most important go-to tool to relieve pain or just keep me going, shouldn't you give it a try? I think so. Come to the Good Feet store today for a free, no obligation arch support fitting, then take them for a test walk. Experience the comfort, balance, and support of the Good Feet 3-step arch support system. Good Feet in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Chris, your Wu-Tang Clan nicknames reminded me of NBA nicknames in China. Have you heard some of these?
No.
Chinese nicknames of NBA players. Some of them don't make sense to us because they're based on the characters sometimes.
Okay.
The Chinese
letters. Gotcha.
Yeah, so to us it's like, what? But
Right.
it's like it's a pun based on the character, which is like, okay.
Like Ron Artest, he's Panda Friend, if I'm not mistaken.
Is he?
That's what his name was for a while.
Michael Jordan, gang boss. What all-time NBA great, no longer active, but still around. Chinese nickname, the Flying Pig.
For Jordan?
No.
Oh,
which
which one?
Jordan is gang boss.
Flying Pig.
Yeah, an all-time great, not playing, but still around all the time.
Does it fit? Would you say that Flying Pig is...
I don't want to go there.
Okay.
I'm going to say Charles Barkley.
That is correct.
That's where I was kind of thinking, but I was like, maybe Zion.
School bag do. DU.
School bag.
Which is a big clue. DU. School bag do. Because he used to often wear a backpack to press conferences. And the DU is actually
I think I actually know this.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant.
Okay.
School bag dude.
Yeah.
Chinese nickname.
Okay.
Clay Thompson,
he
the
used to do
Buddha.
that all the time. Clay Thompson, the Buddha.
Uh-huh.
That actually kind of works.
Yeah, his face is kind of Buddha-ish.
That's exactly. I think that's it. Shaquille O'Neal, the giant shark.
I mean, add it to the last list of Shaq nicknames.
Manu
Great Aristotle.
Ginobili, the demon blade.
I like that.
Yeah. Kobe, snail shell.
I know he hated that. That is terrific.
Kobe is snail shell because it rhymes with my guy Kobe, apparently in Chinese.
No, it doesn't, but okay.
No. Steph Curry's, you have to look up. I can't say what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like doing something to the sky that you can't say. And then my favorite one, who do you think?
That's a tease, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. And this is definitely yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It's like your favorite Star Wars character, Luke Skywalker, except he's not walking.
Not walking.
Right, he's
something
not
else.
walking.
I mean, he may be, but that's not all.
Yeah, I guess you could. Yeah, that's.
I mean, I think Chris has yelled that out on several times watching Steph play against the Kings.
I'm going to start, definitely. That's incredible.
And finally, this is a great player playing now. His Chinese nickname is Letters Bro.
Oh, that's got to be Giannis.
It is.
Yeah, I was like the letters guy. Yeah, it's like Letters Bro.
Letters Bro. Yeah.
That's incredible. All right. I think my favorite is Snail Shell, but Steph's is pretty great.
Steph is great.
Steph is pretty great. That's
Steph works if you like them and if you don't like them.
Yes. That's why it's a perfect nickname. I'm going to, that's my official Steph Curry nickname now.
Yeah.
Wardell Sky Lover.
Blank the Sky is currently running third in our YouTube poll. the greatest athlete of our time. It's LeBron, 41%, Shohei, 38%.
Ooh, that's getting close,
Steph, 17%, Mahomes at 3%.
It's getting close. I mean, LeBron and Shohei, I think Shohei's definitely got a shout. I mean, obviously for the ridiculousness of what he is. But let's not forget, man. Let's not forget how ridiculous LeBron was. He jumped over, Lucas Jr. Do you remember when he jumped over that guy who played for the Bulls on that alley-oop? Crazy athlete. Just crazy athlete.
Draymond Green in a Twitter beef now with Jordan Poole's dad. Here's the worst thing about all that. It's obviously unsightly, and you feel for the guy's dad getting involved in it. He never apologized to us, and then Draymond goes back at him. But the worst thing about this to me is that Draymond, when he talks about Jordan Poole and tries to imply that, I shouldn't have punched him, but boy, what he said, Draymond says, I admitted I was wrong, but, there's certain things a man's got to stand on, and I stand on them. So when he says that, he's saying, I admitted I was wrong, but I'm not, right?
Yes.
It's like saying, I was the bigger guy to admit I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. But I still admitted it.
I was justified in my
about
actions.
all this.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the worst thing about this most recent episode.
Yeah, I mean, he just feels like he was justified in doing it. And did Jordan Poole say some things that were completely out of line and in theory could get you smacked? Absolutely. But does that mean that you should do the smacking, especially when it's your teammate and you have to understand that this is going to create a whole circus around it that's going to continue for a year and year plus? Yeah, you probably shouldn't have done it. And I think Draymond still has yet to acknowledge the fact that he probably shouldn't have done it.
Yeah. And Jordan Poole,
it's all blaming.
The way he's handling, I'm not the biggest Jordan Poole guy, but the way he's handling this, especially compared to the way Draymond's handling it.
Right.
Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. And, even the fact that, Jordan Poole's dad goes out and speaks up on Twitter, like, there's nothing wrong with that. He's a father trying to protect his child.
Yeah.
It's not great. It's not ideal.
It's just a no-win to me.
Sure,
but
exactly.
okay,
but
yeah.
also Draymond, coming back at him is like, dude, just drop it. Just drop it.
Yeah. Stay with us here. If you're watching on YouTube, we are not going away here during this next commercial break. For those of you listening, we will be right back. Forget the quarterbacks. There are 5 players the 49ers need to carry heavier loads this year. We've got them. When we come back, Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Okay. Woo. We're allegedly set. Let's see here.
That Steph Curry nickname is
it's an interesting one for sure. Don't know where they got it from. It kind of fits. Like Chris said, it's like if you like him, it's like, yeah, dude, he's giving it to the sky. But if you don't like him, it's like, he's definitely that second part for sure. He's definitely that second part.
Draymond Green's Chinese NBA nickname,
Stomper.
Chasing Dreams, because when it's said aloud, it sounds like Draymond. Chasing Dreams in Chinese is Zhuimeng. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah. So,
I love that. Where did you first hear that?
I don't remember. I saw it somewhere. I think Yahoo ran a story a long time ago about it.
That's
and
incredible.
Yeah. Because they love the NBA.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's huge over there. And I just saw actually Kyrie Irving sign with Anta over there. So that's him trying to expand his brand. I
think they always did. And then Yao really just took it to another level.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. And then Kobe as well. Like Kobe's massive over there. That's why I'm so surprised.
Snail Shell?
Snail Shell. Yeah. Surprised Snail Shell is his nickname, because he really made a concerted effort to be massive, especially just in Asia in general. And I know he's got a huge following over there. And I think that's why Kyrie is also trying to follow suit. But that's a terrible nickname. What is it? Yeah. Snail Shell.
Snail Shell.
It just doesn't make any sense.
It rhymes with my guy Kobe, apparently.
I have been slightly distracted during this show, because if I could do Viking segment for a second, Adam Schefter is reporting. It is also confirmed by ESPN's Kevin Seifert, who covers the Vikings. Vikings rookie receiver Jordan Addison was cited at just after 3 a.m. this morning for speed and reckless driving in St. Paul, Minnesota. He was driving 140 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone, according to Minnesota's State Patrol. It's going to get you in a lot of trouble, buddy, especially these days. I mean, we're in a post Henry Ruggs era. It's kind of, a very sensitive subject. You also have Jalen Carter of Georgia, who had a similar fatal incident with some of his teammates after the Georgia celebration, them winning the national title. It's just a bad look, man. It's just something that I've never understood, like, people who are like these speed demons who just, I mean, whatever. I've never had a Ferrari or anything like that, but the adrenaline junkies who just decide, yeah, let's go 150 miles an hour in a 55-mile-an-hour zone.
There's stories of some of the, I mean, in the heyday of the Kings, some former players, and I won't name them, but you may remember some of these stories. No, before that, I'm talking about the heyday.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I know I have a friend, Joe Pittman, used to be our producer, and he said one time he was like leaving the practice facility and so comes up and they went street racing. Yeah.
I remember Thomas Robinson got in a car accident right outside the arena at Arco for speeding, or he blew a red light or something.
Poor Chris Watkins has been a little distracted, as he just explained during our YouTube segment there, because Minnesota Viking rookie was just speeding a little bit, just going a little bit over the limit.
Almost 3 times the legal limit. Jordan Addison was pulled over this morning at 3 a.m., so of course nothing good. Who knows where he's coming from, but was
That's
arrested.
A Matchbox 20 song.
It's really 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
Was arrested not arrested, but pulled over at 3 a.m. this morning, going 150 miles per hour. Or I'm sorry, 140 miles an hour. Excuse me. I didn't mean to make it sound crazy. He was going 140 miles an hour in a 55 mile per hour zone, and just not a great look. Again, we were just talking during that break, but in a post Henry Ruggs era, it's just not something that anybody should be doing, especially in the NFL.
I know. I bet you there's a lot of guys that do it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially, you got all this money, you got these fast cars, you're up at 2, 3 a.m., probably coming home from the club. Time to flex. I get it. I understand the mentality. I get being a kid, but man, like, this is your rookie season. You should just be be trying to keep your nose as clean as possible. And it's just terrible. I never understood the street racing adrenaline junkie thing. And it's just a really dumb way to really mess up not only your life, but potentially somebody else's as well.
No question.
Stupid.
Very well said.
It's really stupid.
We're going to talk about the 49ers here, and we're not going to talk about the quarterbacks. Would that be okay with everybody?
Is that possible?
We're going to see.
I've never heard a conversation about the 49ers in the past 6 months without quarterback. So
it's a good question.
We'll try, I guess.
Yeah, from ESPN, 5 non-quarterbacks who have to emerge for the 49ers to blossom in 2023. Let's run them down. And what do you think, Chris Watkins? What do you think? How important is it for these 5 to emerge if the 49ers are to get anywhere near where they want to get to this year?
Go ahead.
Last I checked was the stinking Super Bowl.
I do believe that I've heard a couple whispers about some Super Bowl aspirations for the Niners.
Although some have suggested, not just anybody, but the likes of Bucky Brooks and Louis Riddick suggesting that they got their hands full in the division with those Seattle Seahawks.
Right, exactly.
Number 1 on this list is at cornerback Diamador Lenore.
Sure, absolutely. I think the Niners secondary is probably, position group wise, they're one of their weaker spots on the roster, especially on that defense. And Diamador Lenore showed some signs last year of being a really productive corner. And
in the postseason, he played better.
Right, exactly. I think that if the 49ers, and I said it yesterday, I believe, if the 49ers want to have success, it's going to still be dependent on their defense. Part of the reason why Jimmy Garoppolo was able, and Brock Purdy as well, was able to have such great success is because their defense was able to keep them in games a lot. And especially more in the case of Jimmy, when they weren't scoring a ton of points, it was able to keep them in the game, and really is what set them apart from being, just an okay team to make them a really, really tough team to beat.
It's good sometimes when you're able to look at your numbers as an athlete and say, those aren't very good. I need to improve in that area.
Right.
You tell me, are these good numbers or bad numbers?
Sure.
Let's see. Diamador Lenore last year on passes traveling 20-plus air yards last year.
Okay.
He, as a defender, he gave up 7 completions on 13 attempts for 254 yards and a touchdown and an opponent passer rating of 124.7.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's not good?
No, that's not good. That's not good. That's definitely not good. 20 plus yards down the field. I mean, if you're giving up, if it's a 50-50 proposal on a deep ball towards you, I'll take those odds. I will definitely take those odds. So he's got to be better in that sense for sure.
Intermediate and underneath attempts, opponent's passer rating of 80.1. So and then he played better in the postseason. Yeah. So you figure teams are going to go after him opposite Tarvarius Ward.
Absolutely.
So if he can play better, the defense is going to be a lot better. Number 2 on the list, right tackle Colton McKivitz.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the Mike McGlinchey replacement, right? And their offensive. We know the left side of the line is taken care of with Trent Williams over there. It's going to be on Colton McKivitz to step up, and it's not like McGlinchey was an all-pro or anything, so it's not that he needs to be fantastic to fill in those shoes. But it definitely the 49ers can't just be left side dominant. They're going to have some balance there, and they're not just McKivitz, but there's going to have to be other linemen that step up as well.
Yeah, I don't get too concerned about the offensive line anymore, because last year before the season started, when you looked at they don't have a center and they don't have any guards, and I thought they're in big trouble.
Right? Yeah,
the interior of the offensive line is just going to be a sieve, and they figured it out.
Yeah,
McGlinchey. I know a listener who refers to McGlinchey as McFlinchy. It was McFlinchy and Brunskill is unskill. Yeah, but anyway, they ended up being pretty good players. So McGlinchey goes to Denver. Yeah, $87.5 million deal. So McKivitz gets a first crack at this job, and he's shown that he is good enough to get the first shot at that right tackle position, as I said.
Yep. Yeah. Should be fine. I mean, and you kind of pointed at it there. I don't know how much. I mean, obviously, you need to have a certain level of offensive line, but with Shanahan's system, there's a lot of quick hits. It's really important to be good run blockers more than pass blockers, because you just don't really need that much time if they're going to keep it in the flats, throwing to Deebo. However, if they plan to expand the offense like what some have suggested they do under Brock Purdy, that's where you need protection. I mean, you're going to need protection to get those 20+ yard throws down the field. And, I think they should be fine, but that could definitely prevent them from really being a super explosive offense if it doesn't work out.
Week 18, 2021, that was against the Rams. Remember that? It's like, you got to win.
Right.
And Trent Williams was out. So McKivitz started at left tackle. And if I remember the story right, they went to some of the players, defense as well as offense, because they practiced against these guys. Like, what are we going to do? and people said, yeah, let's put McKivitz in there. And he had a pass block win rate of 80% in that game. So they were confident. And I guess that's part of how you handle offensive lines. You got reserves, and that at some point they may have to move up into the starting
more than
lineup.
likely.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's all part of the plan. Number 3 on the list, Drake Jackson. You talk to 49er people, you hear a lot, Drake, watch out for Drake Jackson this year, defensive end from USC.
I mean, he should, with all the attention that's going to be on everybody else. I mean, Armstead and Hargrave in the middle. You got Bosa on the other side. Drake Jackson, you should be experiencing single coverage one man on you every single time. It's going to be on you to beat him, because Bosa is going to get doubled. You assume that the offensive line is going to have their hands full with Hargrave and Armstead. That's going to leave Drake Jackson a lot of one-on-one opportunities to try and make plays. And, sometimes it's not about Bosa getting the actual sack. It's about him creating enough of a distraction or enough attention, drawing enough attention to make it easier on the other guys. And that's going to be on Drake Jackson or I guess in this case, Drake Jackson, but whoever's going to be on that other side is going to have to step up and be the one who makes plays a lot of the time, actually.
Yeah. He spent the offseason adding about 13 pounds to Drake Jackson.
Okay.
As a rookie, he weighed about 252, hopes to play this season around 260 to 265. Kyle Shanahan says he's been unbelievable this offseason.
Great.
And I think it was Trent Williams said Drake Jackson has all pro potential.
Wow.
And the 49ers don't need him to be that good.
Right.
But if he's a reliable complement to Bosa.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I've seen it happen before. I mean, you have a dominant offensive or a dominant defensive line, and it's not the guys that you think that would the big names aren't always the ones that are getting, the big sack totals and everything, because, all of those guys, much like it's a word that they use for Steph Curry, but those guys have gravity. And you just, as a quarterback, you always got to know, all right, where's Bosa? Where's Hargrave? Where's Armstead? And, Drake Jackson is more than capable of also attracting attention, but you just got to pick your poison at some point. And I think Drake Jackson 10 out of 10 times is going to be the guy that they're going to say, we'll live with single one-on-one coverage on him because we just cannot be beaten by those other freaks of nature.
Yeah, number 4 on the list of 5 non-quarterbacks who got to emerge for the 49ers this year. We talked about him already, Spencer Burford, right guard.
Right.
5th-round pick in 2022. He won the starting right guard job. I did rotate with Daniel Brunskill at right guard, but Burford started 16 games, averaged 44 and a half snaps per game, but he did struggle at times, allowing 5 sacks and had a pass block win rate of 88.4%, 65th among guards.
That's not ideal numbers.
Yeah.
But again,
for rookies,
exactly.
All right, mature, you come along, and this year you're the guy.
Yeah,
go get him.
I mean, that rookie, it's really tough to come in as a rookie and, just make an imprint on the offensive line. If you can essentially just not be terrible as a rookie on the offensive line, I think it's a win. And, another year of him starting. And again, it's going to be him and McKivitz who are going to have a lot of pressure on them on that right side to try and protect things. Because again, Trent Williams' side is going to be good to go, but you're going to have to switch things up. And it's going to be on those two guys to make sure that the line's looking good.
Yeah. And the line did seem to come together, which offensive lines do. They get some cohesiveness, and they were playing better in the postseason than they were earlier in the year. So obviously the hope and the belief is that they'll continue to develop as a group and play better this year. And 5th, finally on the list, we talk a lot about him for a kicker, Jake Moody.
We talk a lot about it. We talk a lot of kicker segments on this show the past couple days, but I mean, it's where this team is at. That's part of the perk of being such a great team like the 49ers are, is, you get to have, is our kicker situation good? Not many teams in the NFL are super hyper focused on how their kicker is going to perform, but it's going to truly be very important this year for Jake Moody to be a good NFL kicker, because not just because the fact that they spent a 3rd-round draft capital on him, but actually they need him to succeed for their actual success to be accomplished this year. They're going to need Jake Moody to be pretty nails for most of the time in order for them to reach the goals that they want to reach. You have to have a good kicker if you want to be able to win in this league.
I'm a big Jake Moody guy.
Absolutely. You're maybe the biggest Jake Moody guy.
Maybe.
I might have to get you a jersey.
Probably, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and his family.
A white one, because I think I got a red one already.
Okay, cool.
But here are the numbers. No matter what I think or you think or he thinks, here are the numbers. Between 40 and 49 yards at Michigan during his time there.
What would be considered should be a made field goal in the NFL.
27 attempts. How many makes?
The fact that you ask me makes me think that it's 23 or under, but I would hope that from 40, you're 25 of 27, maybe 24 of 27.
It's a little lower than that.
23 of 27.
A little lower.
I hope he's not 20 of 27.
More.
Do we need to start a dialogue here? Did he miss more than 10?
17 to 27 between 40 and 49 yards.
That's alarming. That's really alarming. Okay.
And that's so
sad. It is so sad, Dave. You're going to be really sad this
50
year.
plus yards, 10 kicks he made.
50 plus? How many did he take?
10.
10? I mean, if you're missing that many from 40 to 9 and you get drafted 3rd round, I hope he made 9 out of 10.
4. He made 4.
4?
Yeah. So
what?
Yeah. 82. And of course, there were other kicks that were shorter than that overall.
Sure.
So
the kicks that really matter.
82.1% of his field goals at Michigan.
Wait, so you're telling me.
But he's a good foul weather kicker. Kyle says he's done a good job. He's got a heck of a leg. We're going to put him in a bunch of situations and keep challenging him, and hopefully he'll be ready to go by week 1.
Okay.
I wish I'd seen these numbers before I jumped on the Jake Moody bandwagon and got right in front there.
Well established, not good at math, but if I can do some quick math here for a second. He said 17 of 27 from
between 40 and 49.
40 and 49.
Yeah.
You said 4 of 10 from 50 plus.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long kick.
Okay, so we would put that at 21 of 37 from 40 plus out.
Yes.
That would be 56% of his
most of the
kicks.
times it's good. If I'm betting when he has one of those, like, yeah, it's going to be good.
Can I add a positive spin to this? Like,
Please, if there is one.
He did not have Tabor Pepper as his long snapper.
You're right. I just thought that was so obvious.
Now that he's in the NFL,
I didn't know he had to point it out.
He's got the proper long snapper.
You're right.
so right.
Yeah. But no, he did have occasional struggles at Michigan.
My problem is that's what you pay a kicker to make. Like,
when they talk about, he's got that big leg. Yeah, but he was 4 for 10.
yeah, like,
but if he was a worse kicker, he wouldn't even be trying those
Wouldn't
kicks.
even try him.
That's a good point.
Wouldn't
also,
even try
you wouldn't
him.
trust him if you didn't see him make him in practice. You wouldn't believe it. But I mean, my problem is that's any Joe.
How can you have a problem with this? This is very encouraging.
Any Joe Schmo kicker, I would think in the NFL should be able to hit from 40 yards in. That's not what you get paid for. Those are chip shots.
Joe Schmo doesn't even have a job. He's a free agent. He hasn't kicked in the league in 2 years.
Yeah, it's because he kicked 56% from beyond 40 yards out. I mean, that's terrible. That's where you're supposed to make your money. That's where your bread is buttered.
Yeah.
And my guy is made 56% of those kicks.
We had classes and things.
That's true. You know what?
Other
He wasn't kicking full time. You're right.
Right.
You're right. And didn't have great long snapper.
And it's like Robbie Gould said, he's a rookie, so there's a learning curve. So he learned from all that. But I'll admit,
learn what not to do.
I had not realized his numbers were that
atrocious. You can say it.
Less than impressive.
Less than ideal.
Yeah.
Not great. Not great. I'm surprised the Vikings didn't take him with those numbers. I mean, he's primed to kick in Minnesota weather.
Inside of 40, like automatic. The other team would just go, that's a gimme. You don't even have to kick it.
It should be. I mean, that's what you would hope. But I mean, this guy, now you know what? You got me intrigued into this kicker battle. I'll tell you that for sure.
Too.
I will be watching this like a hawk. I mean, because I'm telling you, the second he starts missing kicks, the conversation is going to spark up instantly.
Oh, you're right. That's a great point. It's not like there's going to be a long leash. Like, well, let's see how he comes along.
No,
once the season starts, because you miss 2 kicks. It's not like, that's okay.
We will see these numbers. That's the problem. The second he misses 2 kicks in a row, they're going to pull up. Well, you actually know from 40 to 49 yards out in college wasn't really that good. And so it bears the question, is this just who he is?
I'm not worried about it. Coming up next, Steph's win at Edgewood. Tainted? Marty Fish's side of the story is not pretty. We have it for you next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
To Go Hour with Frank LaRosa, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. Golf to Go, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Hey kids, it's Carmichael Dave from my good friends at Fire Wings, the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. A great place to enjoy all the ball games from all around the country with 21 delicious flavors to choose from. Bone in, bone out. For more convenience, order online. Go to firewings.com. Find a location near you. Grab that order online and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you. Fire Wings. Hey, just wing it.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Download the Sactown Sports app and listen to Whitey and Watkins on your smartphone.
Yeah, Steph Curry won the celebrity thing at Edgewood. You got real golf going on right now at the British Open. in Liverpool. But Rory McIlroy has an interesting predicament that he's in right now. That's one of the things I love about the British Open is golfers sometimes are facing situations that we feel like we're in when we're just playing
regular
Hagen Oaks.
Yeah, Hagen Oaks, exactly. It's like
when he's in one of those moon bunkers on one knee.
And what a shot.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, those bunkers they look like they're like 6 feet high. And that's how I feel like I'm in every single bunker I'm in. I'm like, this might as well be 8 feet tall because I'm not going to be able to do anything like that. But the shot we just saw Rory take, I've never seen anybody do anything like that. He had his like left leg sprawled out up on the grass.
Right leg in the bunker, left leg flexed on the grass on the lip of the bunker. And then
he's just straddling the grass there. And then
pretty good little shot.
Nice little shot up and maybe about 10 feet away from the hoop from the hole. So
from the iron.
From the iron. From the glass. So, I mean, that's what makes them ridiculous. That is just absolutely absurd. I could absolutely never. I never actually learned how to hit it out of the sand either. Everyone always tells me just like, you got to get some sand and actually like make contact with the ball and make a scoop. But
if people are helping you, why are you making fun of the way they talk? That's actually true. That's
look at me. I'm trying to be helpful and give you real
tips.
That's
actually how you get the ball out of the sand.
Well, it's not helpful if I don't do it. If I execute it poorly, then some teacher you were, you're supposed to
You mean you just can't help but I got to hit the ball.
I just don't even like mentally. I'm just like, I just don't get it. Like I'll swing at it. Everything everyone tries to tell me, I'm like,
it's a great feeling. I mean,
I would imagine
once maybe or twice.
Yeah, it's
you
like
get a good shot out of the bunker.
I got
you act like nothing. You dust off your club. And,
well, where's the rake? Ooh,
who's away?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, not me. Okay, guess I got time to rake this up.
That's right. Good.
Yes,
good
exactly. Good etiquette. Thank you, Frank LaRosa, for that golf to go tip.
Rake that trap.
Or else I wouldn't have done it.
Steph Curry won a golf tournament this weekend, as I said.
I heard.
Yeah,
it's alleged. I think we can officially say allegedly won a golf tournament.
Well, this has
semantics,
no fault of Steph's,
technicalities.
The win may be a little bit tainted. Marty Fish was on with Ryan Russillo on the Russillo podcast, and Marty Fish. I don't think we talked about it much, if at all. But on 18, Marty Fish, when he was teeing off, somebody shouted at him, like clearly trying to or made a noise.
Mm-hmm.
And Marty Fish talked about that yesterday with Ryan Russillo.
Okay, so real quick, it was the same guy that said the two things.
Same guy, yeah.
Same guy. So was there any part of this that we don't know yet? Like when they found him, what happened, what he said?
I don't know. Well, he said he bet on Steph to win, and so he wanted him to win.
Oh my God.
So it was like, and you start thinking about it and you're like, you're surprised that stuff doesn't happen more often with all the betting nowadays in sport, right? Like you can actually have a pretty solid impact on, especially in like golf or tennis or, those sort of quiet sports or sports where you have to, be quiet during play, stuff like that. I don't know how you would do it in other sports, but like certainly in golf, right? Like you could really, pay some heckler or something like Happy Gilmore and go out there and I'll shoot her. I'll see you at the Red Lobster after kind of thing. And you can, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, to be honest. The guy probably had a lot of money on Steph and he wanted him to win.
Yeah. Fish leading by 3 points. What
No, I just, just kind of sounds like that might have been what happened. Might have been a little Shooter McGavin situation
before the 18th hole. And he'd won this thing. This would have been his second win in 3 years.
Wow.
And then he said, we get to 18. There's a guy. I'm about to pull the club back. This is before somebody yelled in my backswing, and he yells out. And it turns out, I guess it was the same guy. He says, the guy, hey, Fish, bleep you bleep when no one's talking. And he says, there's thousands of people there. I'm about to tee off. And he said, hey, Fish, bleep you bleep right next to my wife and my kids out of nowhere.
What a guy.
This is just weird, right? I've had people say stuff like that when I'm playing tennis. Like, whatever, I'll deal with that another time or just let it go. That doesn't bother me. But I'm about to take the club back. And this guy says it. And Steph says, dude, what are you doing? And my buddy who's caddying for me is upset. He's got his eyeballs on this guy. I reset, take the club back. right at the top of my backswing. It wasn't at my downswing. It was right at the top, and he yells. And he said it was right when he yelled. It was like the worst possible time for me. He said, my buddy goes after him. Steph's guy goes after him. It was cool to see the camaraderie of everyone being like, that's not cool, man. And he says, I could tell it bothered Steph, but there you go.
The Curry Mafia came after it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it. I mean, it's I'm honestly surprised that I think Fish is right. Like, I'm shocked that this doesn't happen more. I guess, tennis and golf are probably the two sports in which it could, noise wise could affect it most. But, these conversations were being talked about when, there's conversations about building sports books inside of arenas and inside of stadiums. And I think things like, I don't know this specifically, but it seems like actions of crowds trying to influence the game based off of their bets is something that I'm shocked doesn't happen more, or I'd be shocked if it doesn't happen more in the future. Like, I think that there's a lot of, I personally know a lot of people who put really dumb bets down and are dumb when they put those bets down and act stupid and get frustrated and are like, I hate Steph Curry and I hope his family does this and that. And I'm like, that's terrible. Like, betting just brings the worst out of people. And when you mix live action betting with live action sport, it feels like it's a recipe for disaster. And I'd be surprised if this doesn't happen more in the future.
Marty Fish says he knew it bothered Steph. He said, we got down to the green. I walked up to him and said, just make the putt. I hope you make the putt. And he says, I felt like maybe because he's such a good dude that maybe he felt really bad, but that happened. And I know he did, but there's, what can you do? In golf, have you been to golf tournaments? There's not a lot of, okay. As I recall, I've been to not many, but I don't think they have a lot of ushers and things in the gallery.
No, there's none. Yeah.
Yeah. And you never know for sure. Well, I guess you have some idea about how big the gallery is going to be in a certain place. But if that were to continue, you have to have more security in the gallery or something.
Well, and we saw I believe it was during the US Open the other day, they allowed the entire crowd to circle the green after, they were on 18. That was the first time they had ever allowed people to rush essentially the green for the final shot, trying to create a good atmosphere. That's the kind of thing that worries me, is that you're going to get a massive crowd of people. And the thing is, all it takes is one. It just takes one idiot to scream or to ruin this thing for everybody else. And that's exactly what happened. It was just some drunk idiot who probably bet way too much on a celebrity golf tournament and got way too invested in it. And, again, this is a celebrity golf tournament we're talking about here. This isn't an NFL. It's not a Super Bowl or, a playoff game or anything like that, where there's some real extra stakes on top of it. I just think that this is a sign of things to come, probably for golf as well.
I hadn't thought of that, but I hope you're wrong. I hadn't thought of that.
I hope so too. But people, it only takes one, and majority of people are totally fine, know how to act. But there is always, in a massive group of people, there's at least one idiot out there.
After Steph won, there was a picture of him with the trophy, and Andre Iguodala said he's the greatest athlete of our time, which leads us to our poll question today. Following Andre Iguodala's tweet, who's the greatest athlete of our time, we have Steph Curry at 15%. We have LeBron, 38%. Patrick Mahomes, only 5%.
Haters.
Shohei Ohtani at 41%. Showtime leading the poll.
That's very intriguing. I mean, it's pretty telling if anyone is beating LeBron James in a conversation for the best athlete of time. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. It doesn't need to be described how ridiculous what Shohei does is, but the thing that impresses me most about Shohei is his build too. Like, the dude looks like an actual superhero. Like, his shoulders are huge, massive, stick out. And I mean, his power is out of control. Like, he is a legitimate world-class athlete.
Yeah. And those of you who vote for Steph Curry just to try to.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It's not going to upset me, right? It's not going to.
Every vote for Steph, it works. But I'm just saying, really,
I just think he should be in last.
Really want to be that person?
I just think he should clearly be in last.
Yeah. If you do, Sactown Sports, our YouTube page, that's where the
I'm about to make some fake accounts here.
Coming up next, it hasn't happened in the NFL since 2018. It may happen this year. Tell you all about it next. Whitey and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's Whitey and Watkins on Sactown Sports. The Kings are running it back.
He's got the bucket at the buzzer. Harrison Barnes. Alex Lynn just went above the iron with a two-hand throwdown. And that was as nasty as we've seen him in a Kings uniform.
And welcoming some new faces.
Oh, and here comes Vezenkov. He gets the big finish.
Fisher rejected by Mr. Vezenkov.
Keep it locked on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest Kings news.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay, Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please, gamble responsibly, 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Everyone knows that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. And that's especially true when it comes to your air conditioning system.
A precision tune-up and professional cleaning costs a little bit up front, just $87, but will prevent much bigger, more expensive, and inconvenient problems later.
We actually replace systems all the time from people who don't get annual tune-ups. They either forget or they just don't realize it's important. So instead of their systems lasting 12 or more years like they should, they need to be replaced in just 6 or 7 years.
Don't risk it. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Call Bell Brothers for an $87 air conditioner precision tune-up today and keep your system clean, energy efficient, and in good working shape.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
No surprise guys, Bell Brothers.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. NFL owners are meeting today to formally approve the Commander sale from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris for a record $6.05 billion. Daniel Snyder bought the team from the estate of Jack Kent Cook in 1999 for $800 million. The Athletic's Shams Charania is reporting that the Sacramento Kings forward Keegan Murray, along with Oklahoma City's Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, Detroit's Cade Cunningham, and Houston's Jalen Green will all join Team USA for FIBA World Cup training camp next month. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Thank you, Chris Verlaud, for the the video clip you just sent me. This relates to what we were just talking about. Thanks for being with us today, Whitey and Watkins. You know, Steph Curry won the Edgewood Celebrity Tournament. And
allegedly,
there was some very poor fan behavior, gallery behavior, which may have contributed to that. Marty Fish was on with Rustillo yesterday, and he explained how at the top of his backswing, somebody yelled, and I guess somebody was that person was swearing at him because he'd bet on Steph Curry. So we were talking about how, wow, this could get really bad at golf tournaments. People bet on things. It could impact fan behavior at sporting events, other sporting events. And Chris Verlaud says, golf fans have a history of not being the best fans,
best etiquette.
Can you explain where this came from, Chris, and what this is? I had no idea this existed.
So it was the 1937 PGA Championship, and apparently this was a tradition of people wanting to get the souvenir. So like the golfer used to like, hey, throw it out to the fans and stuff like that. That's how you got it. And then it turned into fans tackling each other to get to the hole first to be the one to have that ball.
I love how the guy who puts it in just kind of is like, yeah, nothing to see here. Just 5 men dogpiling into a hole. Let me shake my opponent's hand real quick and let's just ignore what's going on. And there's like, literally cops walking up ready to separate.
What kind of cops are those? They look like they've
Mounties.
And they've got sticks.
They do have sticks ready
of
to
some
go.
kind. And whoever makes the putt just walks over and ignores the pile of people. I've never seen anything like that.
Probably break your wrist like
I was thinking the exact same thing. How'd you break your wrist?
Yeah.
Oh, sprinting.
I had it in a hole, and then 5 men jumped on me to try and get it, and I got it.
And
I still got it.
1937, that ball is probably worth $8.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
That'll push your kids through college.
It probably could. Yeah, that's they like to say that fans these days are way worse, and you should have treated golf like it was played back in the good old days. Well, turns out people back in the day were pretty wild too, if not more wild.
I guess so. Yeah. For a long time, I don't think you could keep foul balls that were hit into the bleachers.
Would they ask you to throw it back into the field?
I think so. Either they'd ask you to do that or they'd go and get them from you. Or, yeah.
Chris, can you keep soccer balls? I know, obviously the stray ball, like on a penalty kick or something.
Robert Duvall does in Kicking and Screaming.
Right.
He does.
Yes, exactly.
No, you can't. Which I will say, one of my favorite soccer movies.
It's a great movie.
It's great. It's
one of my
fantastic
favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
But no, you can't keep the soccer ball.
Okay.
You have to throw them back down.
I feel like that movie got it into my head that you can take it as a souvenir.
It was a Pele ball.
Pele ball. Yeah.
For the New York Cosmos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you should
keep
be able
these sparrows. You get to keep these sparrows. I'm surprised by how many people hate that movie.
Really?
Yes.
I've never heard
Really?
I've never heard anybody say they hate that movie.
Well, it's a fun movie. It's just like
it's
a fun
kids movie.
Yeah.
Like what's there not to like about it? It's got Will Ferrell in it. Like what's there not to like?
Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka is in it. Oh my god, he's
Yeah.
like a huge player.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that this weekend.
It's very funny.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
This is not funny, especially if you're a New York Giants fan. Saquon Barkley is considering not playing for the Giants this season.
Boy. Yeah, that's not funny at all.
Admits during a recent interview that he might have to take this to this level amid his stalemate with the ESPN reports over this long-term contract. Barkley discussing his leverage in negotiations with the Giants during an appearance on the Money Matters podcast. We've been talking about this for weeks. Running backs feel like, hey, we're not getting paid what we deserve. And the Giants decided to give Daniel Jones and who could blame him, a rich contract. Immediately after which they decided to franchise tag Barkley. So the deadline was Monday for them to come to an agreement on a long-term extension. They didn't. So now he says he may sit out the season, and no running back has sat out the NFL season since Le'Veon Bell with the Steelers, 2018. He's the player to most recently sit out an entire season.
Yeah, and that did not work out very well for Le'Veon.
No.
I know it was a little bit of a different situation, but he left Pittsburgh and then went to the Jets, and then he went to the Chiefs as well. Was just never that same guy, and you could argue that was injuries, and it's definitely not the same case here as Saquon. But
so you could argue that didn't help the case.
Didn't help
Of
definitely.
running backs trying to prove how valuable we
Right,
are.
Exactly. It's like I'm Le'Veon Bell, top 3 running back in this league, and I will get paid as according so. And it ended up proving that, that offensive line was pretty great. And Le'Veon, was also, getting a little long in the tooth. But yeah, it definitely didn't help this argument for sure.
Barkley says, you want me to show you my worth? You want me to show you how valuable I am to the team? I won't show up. I won't play it down. That's a play I could use. Anybody who knows me knows that's not something I want to do. Is it something that's crossed my mind? I never thought I would do that, but now I'm at a point where I'm like, I might have to take this to this level. Don't do it.
I think
Saquon, don't do it. Play football. You only got so many years left. It's not going to matter. You're not going to help your case.
Yeah.
You're not going to improve things for other running backs. I can understand the frustration, but figure something out so you can play football.
Yeah.
Football players play football.
It's interesting because I see Saquon's side of it. Like, I think him not playing is the best way of showing the Giants, okay, go ahead and try and figure this out without me, because Saquon truly is that important to this Giants team that without him, their offense is significantly less dangerous. I don't like the idea of, these guys not playing. And you're right, it's not going to change this conversation that we've been having for a week now. But I think everybody's got to take their own situation for what it is. And I think there is something to Saquon sitting out, whether it be what he wants to do or what's right. I kind of think that is the best power play for him at this point, is to show the Giants specifically, you guys need me. I'm not an everyday regular back. Like, Saquon is, to his defense, a little bit different than Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette.
Can't blame anyone for feeling this way. He considers himself the best running back in the league. 4th in the NFL last year in rushing, ran for 10 touchdowns, and tied for the team lead with 57 catches.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's played in 60 games over 5 seasons.
Incredibly healthy.
He was number 2 overall.
Freak athlete, too. I mean, his quads and his thighs are talked about like legends. Like, the dude takes care of his body. He's been a really good pro for them. There is an element, too, of just, like, taking care of your guys. Like, that's something we talked about with the Kings with Domantas Sabonis. Like, sometimes it's not about what's the financially responsible thing to do. Sometimes it's just good gesture to pay your best players and show them that we appreciate your efforts. And that is not how football has ever treated anybody that's not a quarterback. But in situations like with Saquon, when he's so important to your team, like, I think you just have to pay a guy like that. Like, I don't think the Carolina Panthers were fretting paying Christian McCaffrey that money, because they understood without him, we don't have an offense. And I think, Saquon has an argument similar to that. He's so incredible and so important to that team and the success that they had last year. There's no way, in my opinion, that they can have anything near that level of success without Saquon.
You know what this comes down to, in my opinion? Have you ever seen, it's an old show, I know, The Love Boat?
I've heard about it, though.
Okay, there was a guy on the show. His name was Ted Lang, and he played Isaac the bartender. Anybody ring a bell? Anyway, okay. His mom was a Bay Area TV personality.
Okay.
And she taught a class at SF State that I took.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it was not a very traditional class, but she said something that I've never forgotten. I've actually remembered this at times during my career when there's issues here or there. And I think it applies to this. It applies to a lot of things. I think it's great advice. So take it or leave it. But she said, in broadcasting, and in this case, football, there's going to be times you have disputes with people over what you should get paid or your contract.
Sure.
She said everybody has a little piece of gold inside. It's like your self-worth.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And she said, you hang on to that. Now, sometimes somebody makes demands on you that would require you to give that up.
Mm-hmm.
Only you know what that is. It's different for different people. If he would have to feel like, I got to give that up to do this, then he shouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I've actually shared that with people. Like, what do I do about this contract?
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense, but I've always remembered that.
Right.
Everyone's got that little sense of self-worth, that sense of dignity.
Mm-hmm.
If you can, you know what? I can do that fine. But if you have to give up that really important sense of self-worth to do something,
right,
it ain't worth doing.
I love that. That's absolutely beautiful. I mean, that's
Isaac the bartender's mom.
Isaac the bartender's mom
yeah.
is an absolute genius in emotional intelligence.
Jerry
Absolutely.
Lang? Yeah.
That's some real emotional intelligence right there that I was not expecting to hear on Whitey and Watkins. I
wasn't expecting, but as we're talking about it, I just remembered that.
I mean, it fits. It definitely fits. And I think that's kind of what this situation is. It's Saquon could take this $10 million and say, it's not what I want to get paid, but I can accept it. But I do think that he just looks at the landscape of things and he's like, if I don't get paid now, what's to make me think that I'm going to get paid next year, or that these guys, or if this is how they treat me, why would I want to stay here? All that stuff, I think, ends up stacking up, and you can't help but think it. And I think this does come down to kind of like what you're pointing at. I think he just has a level of self-worth that he feels like, if I'm going to risk my body, if I'm going to spend a year of my career banging my body against the wall, why should I take anything less than what I feel like that sacrifice requires. Like,
Sounds
I mean,
like he's trying to figure out where that line is inside.
if he's only got 4 or 5 years left of his career or whatever, we know shelf life for running backs is a lot shorter than most. He's got to be able to maximize his earning potential. And if you're going to take a year of his potential earning away because it makes you as a franchise more valuable, like, why should Saquon fall to that? Like you said, he's got to have his own self-worth, and I think that's what this is.
Charles Bartholomew on the YouTube chat of the day nominee. Saquon should definitely sit out. Sincerely, a Commanders fan. Wah, wah.
Absolutely.
Coming up next, it's the pretty great debate, Factor Fantasy. The Giants need to be all in on Shohei. Factor Fantasy.
Ooh.
That's next. Whitey, Watkins, we go head-to-head next. Sactown Sports.
Whitey and Watkins. Sactown Sports.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
If 10 of the 14 commits to going, I will host a KHTK swim party this summer. I will. But I don't think that's going to happen.
You underestimate the powers of the staff to come together just to make you do something.
My nightmare is being there with like 6 people and hosting, and everyone's looking around like at their watches, like, how long do I have to be at this crappy house with this crappy person?
We get to see you with your shirt off?
Well, duh.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
So I'm a public school teacher and I'm on my feet all day long. That would be on concrete. The pain would like shoot up my heels and just increased from the bottom of my feet up. Then my back started hurting. So my husband and I were driving and I went, oh, look, there's a Good Feet store. I'm greeted by this gal named Mercy. That was a perfect name for her. And the cool thing about the Good Feet store is that you're able to try before you buy. I had free fittings. She was able to fit me with special arch supports. And so I walked around in the store. Within 30 minutes, I started sobbing because I had no pain. Well, if your feet are hurting, do something about it. You don't have to grin and bear it. You need to go to the Good Feet store and get some arch supports. I'm Deidre, and that's my Good Feet story.
See how they work for you with a free fitting and test walk at the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
This could be the start of a break-in.
Stop. This is Simply Safe.
Or the end of one.
Police are on their way.
Introducing the latest innovation in home security. 24/7 LiveGuard protection, only from Simply Safe. Now, agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now. What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 50 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Find small business calm at Uma.com/radio. That's OOMA.com/radio.
Attention home services contractors who want to grow their business with more leads while leveraging their marketing costs to receive over 10 times the value in advertising. Subcontractors United is offering 40 home services contractors from architects to landscapers to participate in our advertising co-op. For less than $2,100 per month, you'll share in over $83,000 a month in advertising. That's $1 million a year in advertising for under $2,100 a month. And because there's only 3 subcontractors per category, not 3,000, your lead potential is unlimited. Generate more leads than you ever thought possible. Be one of only 3 subcontractors in a category and receive $1 million a year in advertising by leveraging the power of a united group. That's subcontractorsunited.com or Google Subcontractors United for more information. But hurry, categories are filling up.
At your desk, on your phone, in the car.
Whitey and Watkins.
On Sactown Sports.
I'm very upset. We have monitors on in here so that we can view everything going on around the world in sports. Monitors all, well, I forget, you're on YouTube, you can actually tell that we don't, but we have a few monitors here where you couldn't see.
Yes.
There's a baseball show that was on, and on the baseball show, I won't say who or why, it looked like they were going to do today's Immaculate Grid.
Yeah.
It's like,
why are you doing it?
I want to do that. I haven't finished that yet.
It's 12:30. Like, can you give me some time to finish work first or something before you just ruin today's grid?
And it was today's grid. It wasn't like, here's our version.
Yeah. Right. That's the thing. It wouldn't be hard. Like, it's a very simple thing. You just need 9 boxes and a couple logos up top. You could have easily created your own thing.
Do your own. But instead, how about that? What are we doing? Well, let's do today's immaculate grid. Terrible.
Well, as you know, Whitey, sometimes you're starving for a segment idea, and
I've heard that. I wouldn't know. I've heard that.
I've heard that happen. Never know, but something tells me that's all that was just they were like, we need to do something. Our producers say we have to be on for an hour, so why not just do this for like 15 minutes and we can just banter back and forth about a couple guys or something, I guess. I don't know.
Can I tell you the other thing that upset me?
Please.
And I know we got to get to it, Factor Fantasy. In fact, I'll save it. I'll save it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
because it's time to go to Christopher Laud, and it's time for the great debate, the pretty great debate.
Pretty good debate.
Whitey and Watkins Factor Fantasy.
We'll see how this one goes.
Yeah. Yesterday was, I think the results have been thrown out.
Yes, we're starting fresh right here.
Sure. Score 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah.
The Giants need to be all in on a trade for Shohei Ohtani. Fact or fantasy?
Who's going first here?
Let's go with Chris.
Yes. I'm going to say that is an absolute 1,000% fact.
That's the fact, Jack.
I mean, I'm sorry, but especially as a baseball casual, like, stars drive interest. And Shohei Ohtani is the biggest star that you have right now in baseball. And the Giants kind of are a team lacking star, like true star power. Like, Logan Webb is probably the biggest star on their team. And I feel like that's more from a local perspective. Of course, they still have Brandon Crawford, but I think without Buster Posey, without Madison Bumgarner, they don't have the big names that would drive your casual interest. And this is maybe me more speaking for myself, but Shohei Ohtani absolutely would make me tune in to more Giants games and would make me go to the ballpark. Forget, the whole part that he might actually help contribute to winning, but just from a business side and a franchise, you should try and do all you can to bring Shohei into your organization.
The Giants should be all in on trading for Shohei Ohtani. That is a fantasy. Shohei Ohtani is going to end up with the Dodgers. I don't like it any more than you do. Tim Kawakami had an interesting look at all this in The Athletic. Shohei Ohtani doesn't take batting practice at all the ballparks, but he's taken this year. He's taken batting practice at a few, and one of them was Dodger Stadium, which tells a lot of people he wants to play there. He probably would have gone there before. There's also this. The deadline's August 1st. August 7th through 9th, the Giants go to Anaheim. The last thing Artie Moreno wants, the last thing he wants is probably to trade him to the Dodgers, but he also doesn't want to trade Ohtani to a team that's then going to come in after that to play the Angels. Yeah, like 6 days later. So I understand the upside for the Giants, but it would totally disrupt your farm system even if you were able to pull it off. There's no way the Angels are going to trade Ohtani to the Giants. So no, it's ridiculous to be all in.
Blame Rob Manfred, I guess, for the scheduling.
I guess.
I'm going to give that to Chris because I think, you're proving that they do need to go all in. They need to put all their chips on the table and say, Ohtani, what do we need to get you?
You can't. And I think that's not up to him.
That's the only way it could happen.
It's the only way to get in the way of him going to the Dodgers.
Yeah, I know.
You got to try and step in front of it.
James Harden has proven he can trade himself. Okay, next one, guys. If Netflix brings back quarterback next year, a guy who's got to be featured is Brock Purdy. Fact or fantasy?
I would say fantasy. With a caveat. Yeah, Brock Purdy would be great, but if you're going to have the 49ers, you should have like all 3 of them. And I know, if you're going to follow the 49ers this year and then show it next year, you should have all 3 of them because they're all part of this incredible story. You should have Darnold part of it, and Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. And I know that, you can't have, and then you still have 2 other quarterbacks. I mean, in place of one of the quarterbacks you have this year, you have the story of this 49er quarterback triangle, because I think it's going to be fascinating. We think we know where it's going to end up, but I wouldn't have Purdy. I'd have all 3 of them as one of the 3 segments on the show.
Yeah. If Netflix is bringing back quarterback, I just think that you kind of have to have Brock Purdy. He's, to me, the most interesting story. That's a fact.
That's the fact,
I think that you're right. The 49ers quarterback situation in total is incredibly interesting, but this show is about starting quarterbacks. And I think if anyone on the 49ers, they've made it clear that Brock Purdy is their starting quarterback. And, he's got the most intriguing storyline of all those guys. I think, with his injury, with his meteoric rise to fame and all of that, I think he's the one that's got the most intriguing storyline. I don't need to see Sam Darnold's personal life. I don't, Trey Lance seems I might be interested in seeing something about Trey Lance, but I think Brock Purdy is the one that I'm most intrigued to see his rehab from injury. I want to see what his mindset is in all of this. We've heard Kyle Shanahan say week 1 is the target. We have not heard Brock Purdy say that week 1 is the target. I would love to know how all of the drama and all that goes. I think Brock Purdy's got to be one of the quarterbacks.
Why do you get the win there?
He kind of said no and yes.
No, you do have to see all 3 quarterbacks because the Niners quarterback is all 3 of them. That's their quarterback. And I think, Chris, you might be a little bit of a homer because I think you want to see Kirk Cousins one more season at quarterback.
I do. I definitely do.
All right, next one. All these whining running backs should shut up and play football. Fact or fantasy? Let's start with you, Chris.
Let's say, you know what? No, that's a fantasy. That's an absolute. Come on, man. Like, they're fighting. I will always fight the good fight. We're talking about labor strikes in Hollywood right now. It's the same thing, man. These people are just trying to get paid what they feel like they deserve to be paid. Yeah, I get that, there's a lot of running backs and they make themselves very replaceable by, just the nature of the position. But man, I can't wrong these guys for trying to fight for what they feel like is equal value for what they bring. They're the ones sacrificing their bodies. They're sacrificing their livelihoods. These guys, take tons of concussions, tons of bumps and bruises to their body. Let them get paid while they actually can.
It's a fact.
That's the fact.
Yeah. And I understand what Chris is saying. It's kind of like what Ricky Henderson said once. He's
Bob
like,
Iger over here.
Ricky said, all I'm asking for is what I want, which is like, yeah, okay, thanks, Rick. But
that's a great quote.
Yeah, all I'm asking for is what I want. Yeah. The thing is, the rules that the teams are operating under were set up by in agreement with the players' union. Sure. If the players have a gripe, it's with their own union, and all this holding out and complaining that we're not getting paid, it's not going to do any good. Your union has to develop some teeth to help you in this. Right now, I mean, that ship has sailed, so whining about we deserve more, it's not going to benefit anybody. Play football, get as much money as you can now. That's your best option.
Chris, you are the winner. Bob Iger is out. If you want to change the system,
bro.
You got to shock the system.
Come on. Jeez, that's ridiculous.
Oh,
Chris Watkins, the winner today.
Again, he's on a roll.
Back to back.
Yeah.
I told you. You just needed to fuel my fire a little, and it got set a fire under my butt. So, I'm not losing again.
I have sympathy for the running backs, but it's not. They don't accomplish anything.
It said,
they do sound like they're
whining. The prompt said, shut up and play.
Shut up and play.
This guy over here. Come on.
We're not getting what we're worth. Well, whose fault is that? It's not your fault, but in a way it is. It's your union's fault.
There's no running back union.
Who says what you're worth? The market says what you're worth.
But they got their thumb on the market.
Austin Eckler. Come on, give me a break. All right, I wish him the best. I want to see him play football. Coming up next, so just shut up and play, then we all win. The worst possible 49er outcome for the Robbie Gould saga. You know what? It's actually a distinct possibility. We don't want to, but we have to break it down for you next. Whitey and Watkins. I lost again. Sactown Sports.
Whitey
and Watkins
on Sactown Sports. Need your Niners fix? Sactown Sports has you covered.
I'm not going to lie to you guys. I think Trey looks significantly better than he did last year. I really do. I think his confidence is there. I think that he's throwing really good passes. I mean, just watching him, he just looks so much more comfortable and confident in the pocket, and I really appreciate that from him, from all the work that he's put into it. He just looks like he's having fun, because when he's out there having a good time, it definitely brings up everyone around him.
Get all your 49ers coverage leading into the 2023 season at Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
All new spring deals are here at Lowe's. Start planting your garden this weekend with Bonnie 11.8-ounce vegetables. Buy 4 for $10. Plus, liven up your patios and decks with fresh blooms. Select 1.5-gallon hanging baskets or 2 for $20. Lowe's knows spring. Lowe's knows home improvement. Offers valid through 5/17. In-store only. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Enjoy the prime grilling season today with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Y'all ready to do it again, Sacramento? Country in the Park 2 is coming to Hart Health Park at Cal Expo Saturday, September 9th with Cole Swindell, Chris Jansen, Dylan Scott, and more. Plus, a mechanical bull, line dancing saloon, and all the food. Tickets start at $40 or grab your Coors Light Y'all Access passes for $125. For more info, visit SactownSports.com. Country in the Park 2, brought to you by Hoblet Dodge, E2 Family Winery, and Hyatt Vacation Club.
Attention car shoppers, are you ready for the deal of a lifetime? Introducing the all-new 2023 Kia Forte LXS at Elk Grove Kia. You won't believe your ears when you hear this offer. We're offering the stylish and reliable 2023 Kia Forte LXS for the unbelievable price of just $99 per month. That's right, under $100. Don't let anyone tell you it's impossible, because at Elk Grove Kia, we're making the impossible possible. The 2023 Kia Forte LXS combines affordability, performance, and style like no other sedan on the market. Worried about credit? Not at Elk Grove Kia. The management team has over 100 years of combined experience. We know how to say yes a lot more than the other guys do. Bankruptcies, repos, collections, or no money down? Elk Grove Kia says yes.
2023 Kia Forte, $99 per month plus tax, 36 month lease, $49.95 due at signing, residual of $12,874.84, Visa 10K per year, 20 cents per mile, low reserve security deposit required, subject to Kia finance, 0 approval, one of this name, GK 889464595, offers 7/31/2023.
Elk Grove Kia.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
If you want to hit the golf ball farther and straighter, the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers you the opportunity to experience the same technology and major brands used to fit PGA and LPGA Tour professionals. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is an indoor facility that opens onto the driving range so you can see your all-important ball flight. With the advantages of cutting-edge technology and analyzing your ball flight, the Hagen Oaks professional staff will make you a better player. Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, or call 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and I recognize, just like my friends at American Energy Heat and Air, that your time is important. And that's why shopping for a new air conditioner is now easier with American Energy Heat and Air's online quoting tool. All you have to do is go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote right now. It'll help you determine what system you're going to need to get. It'll provide the best pricing options, all from the comfort of your home without having to have somebody come to your home. You know how annoying that is? They come in and, and everybody there is so sweet and nice, but how much better is it to be able to get it on demand? Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your needs are, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Urlaud with your Sactown Sports headlines. NFL owners are meeting today to formally approve the Commander sale from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris for a record $6.05 billion. Daniel Snyder bought the team from the estate of Jack Kent Cooke in 1999 for $800 million. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that Sacramento Kings forward Keegan Murray, along with Oklahoma City's Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, Detroit's Cade Cunningham, and Houston's Jalen Green, will all be joining Team USA for FIBA World Cup training camp next month. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
So let's say you owned the Washington Commanders. Would you go? Obviously, you can't do anything this year. You got all these teams with new alternate uniforms and things. I'm not suggesting they do anything to revisit their past. I know that. I'm not suggesting that.
Yeah.
But do you go maybe with a little splashier look or logo than the Der Wiener Schnitzel W on the side of your helmet? Washington's team logos. You got the Nationals that have the Walgreens W on there.
That's so true. Oh my
God.
It
is.
It literally is.
The Walgreens team is playing. And then they've got the Washington football team Commanders. They got the Der Wiener Schnitzel helmet.
I've never thought of that. The first thing I absolutely would do
and
is
the Wizards is just like, I don't even
so terrible.
that at all.
Why don't they just go back to like the actual wizard or something? Or I don't know. You're right. Washington DC needs a complete overhaul in all of their team logos. The first thing I would do is change Commander's name. I hate the Commanders.
Really?
I just, it was terrible. I would have leaned in a lot more to the pigskins, like where you're right, the hogs or whatever. The hogs wasn't that their line or something? Right? Yeah. I think there was a petition to change their name, something like the Hogs or something like that. I would change it from the Commanders. I think it's absolutely terrible. I think the jerseys they had last year, the color scheme is just really weird. It's like mainly black with yellow, but it's also like a burgundy red. Just all of it's off. I would completely just start anew. I don't know what I would do with it, but I would completely overhaul it because I'm out on all of it.
Did you like when they were the Washington football team?
No, that was even worse. Somehow yeah, I mean, it was hard to Commanders is a close second, but it's football team is absolutely horrible. I do like the idea of having the numbers on the helmet, but besides that, no, it was absolutely terrible.
There was some talk of them changing their name to I think it was the Red Tails in honor of the Tuskegee Airmen.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
I thought that's a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I don't know, maybe they would revisit that. Who knows? New owner maybe revisit some of those
Absolutely.
things.
I mean,
some of that like Washington football team, to me, that was Daniel Snyder going, no, we don't have to change our name.
That was him being as difficult as possible. And he was like, oh, okay, you think I won't just call us the Washington football team? Because I will.
Yeah,
and I somehow ran.
Kind of wish we could somehow just erase everything that Daniel Snyder had with Washington.
Yes. And that's what I was going to say is like, if I were the new owner, I would try and change as much as possible just to try and make the eras as clear of a shift as possible, because I don't want any of that stink, whether it be, the name of the team or, the stuff that's came out recently about how Schneider was running that organization and all the nasty stuff that was going on inside of it. Just start anew, almost like it's a brand new franchise. Try and get rid of as much of that as possible. And I probably would have tried to accept the Hard Knocks invitation. I would have wanted cameras in, everybody. I want everyone to see.
Maybe next year.
We are not them. Yeah. We are not those guys. And yeah, exactly. It might happen next year, but as much separation as possible from the previous regime and era is the first order of business.
Charlie, who's a big Washington fan, he says on the YouTube chat, I just want them to win.
That helps.
That. Yeah. You and Chris Verlaut are so good at this. What would be your choice if you're not going Commanders?
Oh man, you're really going there?
Put it on the spot.
You guys are so good at this.
The Senators.
Washington Senators. Yeah, the baseball team used to be that. That's not a bad name. Yeah.
I don't know enough about DC. What are they? Washington.
I
Washington.
shouldn't have put you on
the monuments.
Yeah, that was actually talked about.
See, mine's bad, but I'll just tell it. The swamp. The Washington Swampers. Swamp monsters.
Not that at all.
Wait, wasn't there a New Jersey?
The Swamp Dragons.
Swamp Dragons. And
Swamp Dragons.
Very nearly became the New Jersey Swamp Dragons.
You know what? I want that back. The Washington Swamp Dragons.
Do they have a swamp there?
The whole thing is a swamp.
Oh, I see. You mean, yeah. Okay. All right.
I see. Okay.
All right.
Just clicked for me. I was like, what? Like, it's not Florida. And then, yeah, it's not great.
Okay.
Not great.
This is like part 3, the third and final part of the Robbie Gould trilogy. I know we've been talking about him for a few days here and the interview he did with Matt Mayoko. And I think when you look at the numbers for Jake Mooney in college that we looked at earlier today, the whole Robbie Gould thing starts to become little more uncomfortable from the 49ers standpoint.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm a moody guy.
You're a big moody guy.
I'm a moody guy.
Yeah. You're in the mood.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more Jake Moody, or at least more made kicks. Robbie Gould, 18-year-old veteran, unrestricted free agent.
18-year veteran.
What did I say?
18-year-old veteran.
18 veteran. Yeah, he's much older than that. 18-year NFL veteran. Thank you, Chris. Not hanging up the cleats yet. We talked yesterday about where's he going to play. Robbie Gould spoke with multiple teams in free agency, never landed a deal. He says, we've had a lot of teams we've talked to this offseason about coming to play for them. It just hasn't necessarily worked out with the right situation and or financially. I'm in shape. I've been kicking. I know training camp is coming up. I'm ready for the next opportunity.
Love to hear he's in good kicking shape. That's really, really important. What would that even entail? I wonder if this is Robbie Gould. Maybe he truthfully does have offers out there, but I still think that he's clearly fishing for that Niners job specifically. And I just wonder if all of this is just letting them know, hey, if things don't go well there.
Oh, you think?
I'm available. Just saying. Feels like it.
The Patriots took a guy, Chad Ryland, in the 4th round. The Packers took an Auburn kicker in the 6th round. And then you had Moody selected. And Robbie Gould says, I'm sure these teams will give these kids a chance and find out who has a chance to compete. And then things will get a lot more serious. I'm ready to go and look forward to next season. Yeah. Here's to me where it gets really unsettling for 49er fans. The Dallas Cowboys have 2 inexperienced kickers on their roster. They're still unsettled at the position after Brett Maher, and he missed 4 PAT attempts in one playoff game and was let go after the season.
That seems
the Browns, the Titans are looking at youngsters with less than 6 career field goal attempts in an NFL game. So, yeah, you would think if you're Robbie Gould, sit tight, and there's a very good chance someone's going to come calling, and it may very well be the Dallas Cowboys. Can you imagine the 49ers? Last 2 years, they faced the Cowboys in the postseason, playing a big game against the Cowboys in the postseason.
Oh, my gosh.
Robbie Gould's lining up for a big kick.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. And I mean, that's that. And Robbie Gould's going to come out there looking real hyped, and he's probably going to flex his muscles a little if he hits that kick. It's it could really set up for real disaster in that sense for San Francisco. And the worst case scenario would be that happens, but also you find out Jake Moody's not your guy, and
stop saying that.
Robbie Gould is signed, and you're like,
how could Jake Moody not be your guy? How is that even possible?
Yeah, I have no. Well, we're just not talking about the fact that Zane Gonzalez is still
there. You go.
A competing kicker as well. I don't think that kicker battle has been determined yet, and you would like to think that Jake Moody's got the inside track for that. But if he looks like how he did in college, I think that's a real competition, whether we like it or not.
He was a star in college. That's why he was drafted in the 3rd round.
Allegedly.
You're putting too much stock in some of his numbers, which suggest that a time or two in college, he struggled with his accuracy.
Look,
50 plus yards. He was 4 of 10, 40 to 49 yards. He made 17 of his 20 throwing kicks.
Yeah.
We're talking blizzard conditions.
I'm not
in this conference.
You're right. I'm not accounting for the weather, the Michigan weather versus the beautiful San Francisco, not breezy at all, or Santa Clara, not breezy at all near that airport at all. It should be. What am I thinking? I'm overanalyzing this kicker's numbers, and I'm not thinking enough about this kicker's athletic ability and just the natural talent that is Jake Moody. That's on me. Why I don't know why I'm fixating so much on this 56% from kicks outside of 40 yards.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. I should be thinking more about the guy who's doing it.
You're right, Robbie, and thank you for correcting me. He's not 18 years old.
He's not.
He is 40 years old. And there's an old saying goes back to, I think
Probably
Bill
when
Walsh
Robbie
was a proponent of this, but I think Branch Rickey said, better to get rid of a player a year early than a year late.
Always. Exactly. And that's kind of the Belichick way a little bit. It's
It's tough, and it doesn't make you a favorite in the locker room, but that's clearly where the 49ers are with Robbie Gould here.
Yeah. And he's a kicker, and he's 40. So I think it's a perfectly fine
Moody is less money.
He's less money, and you can potentially have
more ways than one, maybe.
You can have him until he's 40 if things go right. I think it's more just at some point you got to look to move on, and the Niners saw an opportunity to move on with a kicker that they apparently really, really liked in the draft. And, you're not gonna bring back Robbie Gould if you feel like that Jake Moody is a guy that can be your guy for the foreseeable future. I get the process, but I think the execution or the guy that they decided to back might have not. I mean, and this is all TBD completely, but there's just, makes you think if maybe he could potentially not be that guy.
If you're a kicker and you could choose where you played, what would be your top of your list? I would look at any dome.
Any dome. I mean, dome is first and foremost, probably LA, because even if, there's not really much logic there. I guess I was thinking even if you had to play outside, it'd be fine. But obviously,
where are there most domes where
I
know all my home games would be in domes, and then on the road, like with the Rams, you play Seattle. Well,
yeah, exactly. You play Seattle. Seattle's not fun.
Yeah. Let's see.
Anywhere on the east wouldn't be fun.
San Francisco isn't a bad spot, just because of how it's set up there. There's no wind. That's why it's hot as hell inside of there.
Santa Clara.
Yeah.
You're saying Robbie Gould's a product of playing in an easy, watered down kicking numbers?
I think. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know who would have the most domes because
maybe
everywhere I can think of has only
NFC
2.
North. Minnesota.
There's only 2 domes, though. That's Minnesota, Detroit, and then you would have to go outside in Lambeau and go outside at Soldier Field. Those are probably the 2 worst conditions that you could play in.
The Colts and
yeah.
The other teams are out.
Yeah, those are all outdoors. I don't know. We'll get crack staff on that. Maybe maybe the NFC South. There's Tampa Bay's outdoors, but Atlanta, New Orleans, Atlanta, and who am I forgetting? Carolina would be outdoors, but I don't know.
Where I'm going.
Maybe there's no perfect situation. Maybe we don't talk about how hard it is for kickers in this league. No, nobody needs to have that conversation.
Coming up next, is there a warning for Kings fans wrapped in the Monty McNair interview? Next here, Whitey Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Anywhere fans go to cheer on their team, there are behind-the-scenes MVPs, ensuring everything is game day ready. We see you, Joe, fixing seats so every fan can enjoy every game. And Allie, who keeps her stadium running smoothly from the moment the first game starts to the last play of the season. At Grainger, you're our MVPs, and we're always here for you with supplies and solutions for every industry and 24/7 customer support. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're ready for some leisure in your life, let me recommend El Macero Country Club, just 15 minutes from downtown Sacramento. Play our stunning championship golf course. Practice on our manicured short game facility. Cool off in our 50-meter swimming pool. Play tennis, enjoy social events, and mouth-watering dining options after a great day of play. We're now accepting new social and golf memberships for a limited time. Visit elmacerocc.org and put some leisure back in your life at El Macero Country Club.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
It's supposed to be hot again, right, Watkins? Christopher Watkins, that is.
Very.
Christopher A. Watkins.
A?
Yeah.
So like Stephen A?
Yeah. Aren't you Christopher A. Watkins? Oh, what are you?
M.
Christopher M. Watkins,
Yes.
pardon me.
Yes.
M for, of course.
Michael.
I am also a Christopher Michael.
I'm a Kevin Michael.
I think we figured this out already.
Okay.
My uncle's name, Kevin Michael.
Really?
Kevin Michael Watkins. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Not so nice. Not,
Yeah.
not the best guy, but it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
We all got problems.
All
We all
right.
got problems. Okay,
Yeah.
we all got family problems.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be hot again.
It's supposed to be very hot. You know what Chris actually put me on yesterday that I have been sharing with everyone who's got an ear, because I'm an old man who actually does think that talking about the weather is interesting. Chris told me yesterday the city of
Hold
Phoenix.
on. That might be making it to story
Okay,
time
well, boy. Well, we're going to have a weather story time later today.
Oh, okay.
Weather-based story time later today. We call that a tease, ladies and gentlemen. Chris told me something yesterday that we're going to learn during story time that just blew my mind when it comes to weather. So if you think it's hot here, just wait till story time because you're going to find out what real heat is.
The hot weather may be exacerbating a situation I have at home. I'm not sure today. I got out of the shower, walked down the hallway, and got that smell, that unmistakable smell of, I think there's something dead under my house.
Oh, God, that's the worst. And I assume.
And it's like you went back and then like, ooh,
You
there
said,
it is.
Was that this morning?
This morning.
Oh, that's the worst. No.
And
I
then
have
later
no
on, it's like,
energy.
I'm not sure I smell it, but that's happened enough where
Mhm.
I know that if you smell it, the decomp, nothing like it. So I'm probably going to end up at some point here very soon, crawling under the house and
Underneath.
pulling out a possum. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
that's the worst, man.
Yeah.
That's
Luckily,
like-
it's a possum because, hey, might not be dead.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been watching a lot of. There's this Netflix show called Alone where they drop these like hunting and just survival experts off in this land in Canada, and they literally leave them by themselves. Hence the title Alone. And it's like whoever survives the longest with the ingredient or the resources that they can acquire. The stuff that people eat or you can eat blows my mind. Just beavers, raccoons, all that stuff, and they have to
Okay.
capture them. That's where my mind went. Sorry. If,
No, that's all right.
It's a beautiful show. I would watch it. I
Yeah.
highly recommend it. Really makes you
They eat
appreciate
bugs? I know bugs
everything.
supposedly,
Everything.
high
Bark,
protein.
tree bark. They're like,
What?
yeah, absolutely. It's like, I mean, at that point, there's points where they're like, I haven't caught a fish in a week. I need to eat something. They're eating berries. They're like, I think these berries are okay. I think these mushrooms are okay. Then they end up getting stomach cramps and diarrhea. Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. And then, great show. I would highly recommend. And so I'm suggesting maybe, you
Turn lemons into lemonade.
exactly, I'm just saying if, food's expensive these days, maybe
Yeah, I
you
think
live
it's-
off the land a
I think
little,
it's past its best by date, whatever it is. That's my guess.
or it's been pre-cooking, it's been slow cooking for a couple days and
Could be. I'll let you know what I find. If I end up going under
please
there,
don't,
okay?
please don't.
I'll
If
send
I
you
do
pictures.
not, please do not.
Okay?
I do
Hey,
not do
Chris,
well.
look what it is.
Do not do well with that stuff. Yeah, that is a live reaction. Don't do well with
Very proud of my daughter because she had one in her
Attic or
ceiling.
something, yeah.
Yeah. And her husband was like, I'm not doing it. My daughter's
Absolutely.
like, I'll get it. And I was like, that's my daughter right there. Yeah.
You need more people like your daughter because I would also
Like,
be
yeah,
somebody
I'll
who's
get
like,
it. Yeah.
I'll pay someone to get it, or I'll have my dad come over maybe, and maybe he'll want to get it or something, and I'll give him some drinks or something to pay for it. But yeah, I am especially not that guy, pal.
Would you agree that in recent seasons, the Kings off seasons have had a smell not unlike something that's been under your house for too long?
Yeah, I mean, generally it's,
and we don't have that now.
No, I mean, no, this offseason has been pretty stink free, relatively. I think, especially, with where things could have gone at a certain point. I think, there was a chance that things could have gotten not stinky, but definitely like, oh, there's a lot of new stuff, a lot of new sense here, and I don't know if it's going to work out. But in the past, it's been a lot of, okay, the Kings bring George Hill, Dwayne Dedmon, and Marco Bellinelli in this offseason. Is this going to be the big change that does it? And then we put all our hopes into, George Hill. George Hill's been incredibly underrated his whole career. I think with given more opportunity, he's going to step up. Same thing with Dwayne Dedmon, lethal. And then it just ends up being something that's stinky, that's under the house that we have to then go under and get, and then, get rid of.
Well, of course, Monty McNair talked about the offseason and the immediate future in the interview in The Athletic. And today we talked to Anthony Slater about that interview. Anthony, and I don't know who did more of it. Apparently that's a point of contention between the two of them.
Those two will have to
he
figure it
and Sam Amick. But it was a great interview we did with Anthony Slater today. If you get a chance, you might want to check that out, Sactownsports.com. But it was interesting, some of the things Monty said towards the end of the interview about, these things don't always happen in linear fashion, and we're set up where we can pivot. And to me, Chris, it was almost as if he was saying to Kings fans, hey, maybe everything's great. That's terrific. But remember, things don't always go as smoothly as they did last year. They may not this year. They may, but they may not. And you can't just assume that 48 wins last year is going to mean at least 55 this year.
Right.
It's almost like a warning to Kings fans.
Absolutely. And like Slater pointed out too, it's just this year's goal is make the playoffs again. There's no other agenda of make the second round. Oh, you have to be competitive.
Some disagree with that. I know a lot of people
disagree with that. But I just think that like you said, you can't bank on what's going to happen next year. What if the Kings get severely injured? De'Aaron Fox is out for 25 plus games and they barely eke into the playoffs. Are you really going to say, well, they didn't, so this isn't successful? I think making the playoffs without your star player would be considered successful. And then who knows what ends up happening in the series. I think there's other routes that can happen that still don't necessarily mean this team took a step back without them advancing to a further round. I think that it's like he said, it's not a linear thing. It's not always, progression isn't always linear. You can take small victories out of things. Yes, in total, it might be a disappointment, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you didn't get anything out of the season.
Yeah, if you miss the playoffs for 16 years in a row,
yes,
then making the playoffs the next 2 years,
it's a massive
accomplishment.
It's a massive accomplishment. You got to look at the big picture sometimes.
If you break that drought and then the next year you're out in the first round again, it depends how it happens, of course, but it's not like, oh, well, that's terrible.
Right. Exactly. No,
necessarily.
Right. Exactly.
Again, depending on how it happened.
And I always use Minnesota as the example, but Minnesota did a similar thing where they were not in the playoffs. I think they had the second longest active drought behind the Kings at the time. They go and get Jimmy Butler. They break that playoff drought. Okay, cool. They're like, we're set up for success. The next year, they don't make the playoffs. As a matter of fact, I think that's how they got Anthony Edwards the following year. And then they make it to the play-in. They win the play-in. They make the playoffs. And then they're like, all right, cool. Now it's time for us to be a real thing. They put all their chips in the Rudy Gobert basket, and they just get right back to the first round and get a first-round exit. I say all that to say the Kings didn't do that. They've been a lot more measured, a lot more calculated. And Monty here is trying to make sure that they don't go from drought back to starting a new drought after making the playoffs, and trying to make sure with locking down Sabonis 5 years, there's going to be a level of continuity and hopefully a level of success that's sustained over a good period of time here.
The one thing I think they'd have to be more prepared for over last year, and hopefully it's not an issue, and you alluded to it. I mean, they were so healthy last year.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And maybe that happens again, but maybe not. So are you prepared for that? And I think they're better prepared for that.
Absolutely.
Some of the moves they've made.
With the depth in general. I mean, you're never going to be able to survive a De'Aaron Fox or Domantas Sabonis injury. If those guys get hurt, it's going to be incredibly detrimental. But the other guys, everybody else, I mean, Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter, you got Chris Duarte, you got Colby Jones, you bring in Sasha to relieve a guy like maybe if HB goes down, or Trey Lyles can step in.
You've also got Mr. Vezenkov.
Absolutely. And I mean, you got Kessler Edwards, you've got tons, you got at least 10 guys, maybe even 11 that you feel pretty confident about if they have to step into the game. Obviously, how big of an impact they have is still to be determined, but I think just having a good collection of NBA talent that a majority of NBA teams would legitimately play on their team as well, I think that's a huge accomplishment for a Sacramento team that has been far from the truth for a very long time.
I have to take just a moment here to salute the greatest Vezenkov fan in the world. The Kings today on Twitter, a half hour ago or so, they tweeted, highly decorated Sasha Vezenkov. There's a picture of him, and then there's a list of his career highlights and awards. And I mean, there's a ton of stuff on here, from All Europe Player of the Year 2023, Greek Super Cup winner 2022, Greek League All-Star. I mean, it's, I don't know, 40 things on here, whatever it is. I don't know. Whole list of things. And Emmy on our YouTube chat says they missed one.
That's incredible.
I'll bet they did. I'll bet she's right.
And I'll say this, King's social media, if you're going to post something about Vezenkov, like hit up Emmy first.
Hit up Emmy.
Just make sure that we got everything right.
Yeah. I haven't checked it. I don't know what she's talking about, but I'll bet you she's right. I'll bet they missed one.
There's no source I trust more on anything Sasha than Emmy. Emmy is on it 100%. She knows everything there is to know about Sasha, and I am not going to say that she's wrong.
That is a long list, isn't
I'm
it?
pretty sure they got this list from Wikipedia. If I could, if my graphic
Looks
design,
very Wikipedia-ish.
yeah, I'm pretty sure this is nothing more than a screen grab from Wikipedia, and they literally just copy and pasted that onto a picture of Sasha.
They got to check Emmypedia.
Have to. That's what I was getting at. Is they need Wikipedia, as I was told my entire high school career. Not a reliable source. It's not a source.
I know.
And so, you got to check the proper channels, and there is no better channel than Emmy.
Yeah. Coming up next, this is big, not just for, us in Sacramento. This is big for humanity. Who you got in a man versus machine basketball shootout? Next, Whitey, Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is your source for the 49ers.
Oh, it was all.
Did that leave a bitter taste in your mouth?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Me and Cal had a long meeting the other day. We watched tape. We talked about it. We put it behind us. And just going through the tape and just look how sluggish and like how bad it looked on tape. Like I said, just reflecting on last offseason, it kind of played a big role in that. And I never put nothing like that back on tape again.
Tune into Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for the latest 49ers offseason developments.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It's Thursday, and we're looking at hazy sunshine along with calm winds. This afternoon, plan for a hot day as the hours go by. Daytime highs peak at 100 to 104. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Elk Grove Honda, we see every Honda buyer as a member of the family, so we make sure every certified pre-owned Honda is one we would buy from ourselves. See our selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovehonda.com.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers. Imagine if every time you bought something, you could get a second one for 30% off. Buy one car, get the second one for 30% off.
Buy one TV, get the second one at 30% off. Buy a new house and get the second one at 30% off.
At Bell Brothers, that's exactly what we're offering this spring on windows and doors. When you buy one brand new energy-efficient window for your home, you'll get the second one at 30% off.
A minimum purchase is required, but the discount applies to every second window you buy. For example, if you buy 5 windows, you'll get 5 windows at 30% off.
The same is true for doors. Buy one, get one for 30% off. And for doors, the minimum is just 2.
So call Bell Brothers now at 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Are you tired of your tee shots ending up in the adjoining fairway while the rest of your foursome is hitting it down the middle? Well, experts will tell you that being properly fitted for golf clubs will help you strike your drive center cut. The Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio and its team of trained PGA professionals are ready to help you get rid of your banana balls and duck hooks. Hagen Oaks Indoor-Outdoor Player Performance Studio fittings are available 7 days a week. Make yours today by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
The story of the nurse and the foot pain that nearly brought him down.
I feel like I'm giving people their lives back.
Robert lived to take care of his patients, but he couldn't do it unless he took care of his foot pain.
I have plantar fasciitis. It'll almost put you on your knees. That's how much it hurts.
His own recovery started when he got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now that I'm pain free, I can make these people feel better.
Can't beat that. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The universal truth of women's shoes. The cuter they are, the more they hurt.
You have to put your best foot forward, and if your best foot is an ugly shoe, oh my goodness.
Lise Ann thought she had to choose between looking good and feeling good until she got fitted for arch supports at the Good Feet store.
Now I can wear the shoes that I've picked out because I like the way they look, not because they were comfortable.
Good Feet relieved her pain and her fashion dilemma. Stop by or schedule your free fitting at goodfeet.com. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
For a business to thrive, there needs to be a constant stream of new customers. This happens through strong lead generation. Did you know that lead generation is one of the most important tools of any marketing campaign? Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products and services to them. To get started today, contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results today.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlod with your Sactown Sports Headlines. The Athletics' Shams Charania is reporting that Sacramento Kings forward Keegan Murray, along with Oklahoma City's Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams, Detroit's Cade Cunningham, and Houston's Jalen Green will be joining Team USA for FIBA World Cup training camp next month. NFL owners are meeting today to formally approve the Commander sale from Daniel Snyder to Josh Harris for a record $6.05 billion. Daniel Snyder bought the team from the estate of Jack Kent Cook in 1999 for $800 million. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Whitey and Watkins.
Wow. Look at the YouTube chat poll today. You know, Andre Iguodala recently said that Steph Curry is the greatest athlete of our time. Chris Watkins politely disagrees with that, so we thought we'd put it to a vote of the smartest listeners in radio and smartest YouTube viewers. So who is
The people.
the greatest athlete of our time? Steph Curry at 18%.
It's too high.
Shohei Ohtani, 37%. LeBron, 37%.
Whoa, we got a
Sounds
tie?
like a tie.
Patrick Mahomes, 8%.
Oh my gosh. Come on, people. I feel like that's too many people who are trying to troll me and just taking votes away from those who really truthfully deserve it.
We actually did have someone on the text line say that they were going to vote for Ohtani, but voted for Curry to get at Chris.
Bro,
Yes.
come on. What?
Yeah, but that's allowed. That's a legit.
I guess we're playing the game. It's disappointing that we're not going to have a winner because people decided to troll me instead.
Yeah. There's
Guess
so
I'm
many
really
things
hateable.
that
Guess I'm the
go
bad
into
boy.
this. You know,
Truly.
accomplished. Who's more accomplished? Ohtani is. He'd get my vote, but I realized he hadn't done anything since he's been here in terms of winning. That's not his
Right.
fault, which is one reason why he wants out. But LeBron has won championships. Mahomes, Curry.
To me, this just shows that, I think people are reading this more kind of like how I was trying to frame it. Like it's about athletic ability, like athleticism, not necessarily the athlete being, the sporting man, if you will. Like it's not about, okay, yeah, Steph Curry is incredibly accomplished and all that. It's just about this guy is a natural freak of nature. And to me, when I think freaks of nature, LeBron and Shohei are two perfect prime examples of these guys are not like anybody else on this planet.
Yeah, are we ever going to see somebody like Steph again? We'll see people like him. I don't know if we'll ever see anybody who's as good of a shooter, but there's a really good chance.
Keegan's already a better rookie shooter than him.
Thank you.
Come on, Chris.
Will we ever see anybody like LeBron again? I mean,
Doubtful. Incredibly
it's just
doubtful.
hard to maybe, but it's hard to imagine.
I can't see it. I mean, I always use he's supposed to look like the Morris brothers. Like the Morris brothers are almost the exact same frame as LeBron James, but LeBron's athleticism and just his smooth, like how smooth he is as an athlete is leaps and bounds those guys. And so if you're supposed to play like Karl Malone and the Morris twins, but you actually play like how we see LeBron, to me, that's the prime example of like why this guy is just completely different and why I don't think we'll ever see anything like him again.
Brian Knudsen on the YouTube chat says Bo Jackson is the greatest athlete of all time. Okay, but you may be right. We're just talking about of our time because that's what Iguodala said. So
Yes, sure.
Certainly not Bo right now. You may be right, but he's not the best athlete of our time.
Yeah, I mean, what Bo did was just ridiculous. I mean, to be an all-star in baseball and be a ridiculous football player that he was, it's only injury that slowed him down. But if anything, that's a testament to how ridiculous Ohtani is. The fact that he's managed to stay relatively healthy while doing both of the hitting and the pitching, I think is an incredible accomplishment in itself.
You know what? Deion Sanders was a really good baseball player.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he had his moments. I mean, at the major league level.
Right. No, 100%. Deion was an electric kick returner. Obviously, it was a great corner as well, but no, there is no but in that. Actually, it's just that he belongs in this conversation as well. If we're talking all time, absolutely, Deion Sanders is one of the most ridiculous athletes we've ever seen.
Danny Ainge was a two-sport guy.
Danny
played
Ainge,
for the Blue Jays.
If we want to talk about people who are legitimately world-class athletes, Danny Ainge, 100%. I think he was the number one recruit as a baseball player and as a not number one recruit as a basketball player.
He was
but
a great receiver in high school too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Danny Ainge. Come on. And he's a great GM. Come on. We're talking about athletes. Come on. Wardell can never.
Yeah. I hate to even put him up there because I know we're not fans of him, but apparently A-Rod was an amazing basketball player in high school.
Really?
To where he wanted to continue playing basketball, and his mom kind of said, like, probably got a better chance at baseball.
Soft. I could not imagine what kind of basketball player A-Rod would have been.
That disappoints me because I'm not a fan, and I saw him recently. Was it Summer League or something? He was at a Minnesota practice.
Oh, yeah, I
he
saw
was
him
talking
airball
to the coaches.
everything.
Yeah, and I was assuming, he didn't know anything about basketball, but he probably does.
I'm trying to. There's got to be somebody else too, right? Like there's.
Well, I know I mentioned this name, and you're not familiar with this guy. A little before your time, but he was a St. Louis Cardinal outfielder, and he was an Atlanta Falcon defensive back. He was great. His name was Brian Jordan, and this was in like the mid to late 90s. He was phenomenal. He was really good at both.
I remember there was in the mid 2000s, Greg Paulus. Greg Paulus was a point guard for Duke, but he was also the number one quarterback coming out of his class and chose basketball over football. He had offers from like Notre Dame, all the top schools in the country to be a quarterback, but chose to be a point guard at Duke, played all 4 years at Duke, and then played quarterback for Syracuse after as I believe a grad transfer.
Iverson was a great football player, and
right, he was a good corner.
Randy Moss was a great
I was just going to bring
player.
him up.
I would know because I coached him in a celebrity game.
And he was teammates with who in high school?
Jason Williams.
Jay Will. Yeah. And I would tell Randy Moss what to do, and he'd just look at me like,
who is this guy?
Just stare at me. Okay.
That guy's ridiculous.
Hey, and then you could tell him Jason Williams once confused me on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Here it is, man against machine. Who do you have? You don't like this guy either, Chris? Chris Matthews, known as Lethal Shooter.
Yeah, I've got beef with
one of basketball's elite shooters and the best shooting coach in the world.
Oh my God. Does it really say that as his describe?
Is.
Okay. I mean, I just have beef with him because he's pretty much an Instagram meme at this point. Like I don't know. It's just ridiculous. Look him up on Instagram if you want to see all the ridiculous stuff he does.
Okay.
But he tried to teach Domantas Sabonis last year about how to shoot, and Sabonis to start the season couldn't hit anything from the perimeter. And so I just had a lot of beef with Lethal Shooter. But, it actually turns out Sabonis had the best 3-point shooting year of his career. So maybe I'm an idiot.
I give Lethal Shooter a ton of credit for representing humanity in a crucial showdown because he recently traveled to Japan to take on Q6.
Shall we play a game?
Q6 is, I just realized what movie that's from. When you first played it, I was like, wow. War Games, right? Yeah.
It sounds like Saw.
Q6 is Toyota's AI basketball robot set the Guinness World Record for most consecutive free throws back in 2019. I don't have the number.
Okay.
It's not just a robot without feelings or thinking. It's not just a robot without thinking or feeling capabilities, said Chris Matthews. To shoot accurately, it analyzes the trajectory with multiple cameras.
Sure.
It's ahead of its time. Huh.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, that's
somebody said this, but I don't think he said it. But yeah. Let's see. Q is not your regular robot. It never misses. If it does, it self-calibrates for the next shot. And you've seen the video. Speaking of great stuff to see on YouTube.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, it literally picks the ball up from the rack.
Huge hands.
Yeah, like massive, weird.
Bigger than John Stockton.
Really freaky Edward Scissorhands looking fingers.
Yeah.
Picks up the ball, puts it in the right hand. It is a right-handed shooter, which I thought was interesting. I would have thought lefties seem to have a lot cleaner stroke. But anyways, shoots it and I didn't see him miss. I mean, I don't.
Good form too. I mean, it's
incredible form. I mean, yeah, he keeps
elbow
keeps the guide hand right there and just follows all the
shoulder
way
square.
through.
I think I'm not sure it actually has shoulders.
I don't know if shoulder joints, I guess.
Yeah,
stays square. And,
yeah,
I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Like everything he said, I'm assuming it's got cameras. I'm assuming it does some sort of calculation of the exact arc necessary to reach the destination. Makes sense. Seems like an impossible thing to beat.
And I'm not sure that Q6 doesn't have emotions because after this competition, Q6 demanded a trade to the Suns. So I guess
what
he does.
You got? Yeah.
Yeah. So lethal shooter Chris Matthews took on Q6. The challenge had three different portions. We had corners at official NBA 3-point distance.
Okay.
Top of the key and out to half court, and top of the key 13-inch rim instead of the standard 18-inch.
Ooh. Okay. How did it? Do we have results of how it performed?
Do you want to know? Or do you want to look it up?
I really want to know.
Okay. My understanding is it was a tie.
What?
Yes. And I don't think either one of them missed.
I hate that.
Now it was,
so
I saw on the YouTube comments, someone said, I wish the challenge had been a little longer. So I think it was like they each got a certain number of shots.
Like
and then
4 shots each or something like that.
Yeah. But Machine didn't miss and neither did Man.
Yeah. He's unconscious from out there. You know,
Yeah.
they always say if in order to be a great shooter, you gotta forget about the last one and think about the next one. And I think that's where Q6 really has the advantage.
rim. I mean, to go to the 13-incher.
I mean, that's massive. That's like some carnival stuff right there. So, maybe.
Well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
Well
like
done.
him a little better now?
No, definitely not. No, I mean, he didn't beat the Machine.
Yeah, now that I think about it, if we want to see how truly good these guys are at shooting baskets, take them to the carnival and put them at that weird basketball game.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Do we know what's wrong with those? Is it the rim? I've heard like the
Rims
rim
are small,
is
probably the balls
they're
are
smaller. I
lopsided.
think they're like ovals instead of circles. I don't know. I just know the fair is obviously going on right now, right down the street from here. So
I'm sure everything there is above.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Way
Hey,
above.
how would you like to go see Tears for Fears at Toyota Amphitheater? Here's what you do: 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Be caller number 3. Right now, Live Nation teaming up with Sactown Sports. Your chance to see Tears for Fears, Toyota Amphitheater, July 29th. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. Caller 3, you got your tickets. Good luck. Story time next. It's Whitey Watkins, Sactown Sports.
It's the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. Golf to Go. Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Saturdays at 8 a.m. on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Take as little as 3 minutes to see if you could save on motorcycle insurance with Progressive. Come on, you've spent more time than that trying to name your bike.
How about the Crusher? I guess it's not really crushing anything. The Silver Bolt? No. Oh, what about Pepper? Mysterious. Is it a pet or a condiment? Surprise! It's a motorcycle. No, that's stupid.
Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
So you just used bug spray in your home. Now what? Well, between the waiting for things to dry up and keeping your family away from the mess, it hits you. You could have used Zevo. Unlike other bug sprays that stick around, Zevo goes from kill to clean in seconds. Plus, it's safe for use around people and pets when used as directed. Zevo, people-friendly, bug-deadly.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
Attention Sacramento Valley. Elk Grove Kia is on a mission to become the leading volume dealer in the region. Introducing the revolutionary 2023 Kia EV6 Wind Edition. This all-electric marvel will leave you breathless. And the best part? You can drive it home for just $399 a month. That's right, experience the thrill of emission-free driving without breaking the bank. But let's not stop there. Elk Grove Kia is proud to present the all-new 2023 Kia Sorento Hybrid EX all-wheel drive. This full-size SUV combines power, comfort, and incredible efficiency. With an impressive 36 miles per gallon, you'll be going the distance while saving at the pump. And guess what? It's only $419 a month. Elk Grove Kia, driving towards a brighter and greener tomorrow. 2023 Kia EV6 Wind rear-wheel drive, $39.99 plus tax, 36 months lease, $49.95 due at signing, residual $29,849.70 based on 10K per year, 20 cents per mile over, 0 security deposit, subject to Kia finance, 0 loan approval, one of this payment, GK 86091043777, 2023 Kia Sorento Hybrid EX all-wheel drive, $419 plus tax, 36 months lease, $49.95 due at signing, residual $25,915.05 based on 10K per year, 20 cents per mile over, 0 security deposit required, subject to Kia finance, 0 approval, one of this payment, GK 8391894, limit expires 7/31.
Elk Grove Kia.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Check out Whitey and Watkins now on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and watch the show from your desk.
Yeah, I was getting lonely in here, so we're pleased to welcome JJ and FP Jr.
Full house.
How's it going? You guys ready to rock and roll today?
Always winning, brother. In life, like I always say.
Yeah.
I'm never not. It's never a bad day for Jay. I don't know about anybody else out here, but I'm
Love that.
always winning in life. Love it, brother. Always.
Can I ask you guys? Yeah, you doing okay?
I'm all right.
Yeah. I'm doing all right.
See? Winning.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Andre Iguodala, after Steph was shown with his trophy, Andre Iguodala tweeted, Steph Curry is the greatest athlete of our time. Chris is not a big Steph Curry
Absolutely
fan.
not.
So that's been our poll question today. At last check, it was tied. But do you guys have an opinion on this? And maybe if you want to go off the board, all good. Steph Curry, Shohei, LeBron, or Patrick Mahomes, the best athlete of our time.
I have one that I think you guys might have missed. Mookie Betts. He bowls 300 all the time in the offseason.
Really? I have heard
golfs.
he's a ridiculous bowler.
Yeah, bowls incredibly. Great golfer. I heard he's a freak basketball player too. He's just 5'8", 5'9",
Right.
and he just has incredible flexibility and athleticism. So I think most baseball players, when they point to the best athlete, they think about Mookie Betts. And I know he's a Dodger, so a lot of us up here don't really want to hear that.
Yeah.
But if you look at him, he's a freak athlete in every sense of the word. You shouldn't be able to do the stuff he does at his size.
I didn't know that, and I appreciate that. But bowling? Are we going to athlete?
Nah,
If we're counting golf, I'm just
Nah,
saying,
man.
like, it's not that far off. And I golf. I love golf. It's a great sport. But if we're talking athletic ability, I mean, you got to throw your arm back.
I will say this too. I think he did something with Matthew Stafford. He was running some routes, and he was like really juking people as well. So he's got it all. Like he's
Really?
just the full package of an athlete.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, what do you got, JJ?
Yeah, I'd probably. It's funny you say that because we have that on the list for the day. Speaking of greatest athlete right now and all time, of course, you got the Deion Sanders and the Bo Jacksons, all that of all time. I would say, as much as it pains me right now to say this, I'm looking for. I'm not going golf. I'm not going bowling. I'm not going hobbies, darts, and all that type of stuff. I'm looking for someone that can actually dunk a ball, who can hit a baseball, throw a ball, catch a catch.
Do things that are hard.
Yeah, I hate to say this. DK Metcalf.
Really?
DK Metcalf is a beast.
I mean, his basketball
He
highlights
can
are
hoop. We
crazy.
already know he can run. He's a track guy. We already know he plays
Track,
football.
that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've actually seen him play a little baseball. So dude's just all around, all American type
You
guy.
remember Brian Jordan?
Of course, that's my guy.
I was trying to tell Chris
That's my
about
guy.
Brian Jordan.
Yes, man.
He's phenomenal
Type of
safety and
safety for the
outfielder.
Falcons. Yeah, outfielder for the Atlanta Braves. Love B. Jordan. Matter of fact, we got to get him on the network. I'll pass him the information. You can get him on. We used to have him on quite a few times when I was working for the 4-letter.
Yeah,
good dude, man.
All right.
Hard to get though sometimes. and he was doing a lot of minor league stuff for the Braves at one time, doing some analyst work and all that. Huge in the community of Atlanta. You know, just a good dude.
He was a
all
safety,
around.
and I'm all about player safety, but he was a safety when you could like hit people.
Yes.
Yeah, and he did.
Yes.
He didn't just
He
hit
did.
baseballs.
Yes, he did. Love Brian Jordan. That's a good name.
Yeah.
Good name.
All right, you guys ready for some story time?
Let's go.
Christopher Laud story
We'll
time.
interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Christopher Laud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. Story time.
Well, Chris teased this somewhat earlier today.
I didn't spoil.
Did he almost step all over your?
He almost got it.
I almost ruined everything. I was about to go off on a tangent.
Woo. Well, it's getting hot here, but it's practically frigid compared to what I'm going to talk about in Phoenix, Arizona, courtesy of azcentral.com. Phoenix is breaking records all this week, but in a terrible way. Tuesday was the day Phoenix broke the record for most consecutive days at 110 degrees or higher. It was the 19th day of the streak, with temperatures reaching 118 degrees on Tuesday. That also broke the daily record in Phoenix, which was 115 degrees that was set in 1989. Yesterday, even more records came down. It reached a high of 117 degrees, which beat the daily record that stood for 34 years. It also broke the highest low, which was 97 degrees.
Oh my God.
That is the all-time record for Phoenix. The other record was an all-time average temperature of 108 degrees all day. That beat the previous record of 106.5 degrees 33 years ago. And unfortunately, it's not going to get better. Today is predicted to reach 116 degrees in Phoenix, and the city is most likely going to see temperatures above 110 degrees through this weekend.
A lot longer than that. I have Apple Maps up, or Apple Weather up here. There is no signs of letting up here. These are all over 110 degrees here in the foreseeable future.
Oh my goodness.
So,
yeah.
if you know anyone in Phoenix, even in the remotely close to the area, think about them, pray for them, get them out of there.
You know, this has been it's affecting real estate too, of course, and it's been interesting with climate warming. Seattle is becoming like San Diego. San Diego is becoming like Phoenix, and then Phoenix is becoming like the surface of Venus or something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
I can't
close
do
to the
it.
equator, huh?
I can't do it, man. Like when it gets that hot outside, I have no intentions of going outside. It like physically hurts to step. I'm also terrible with heat.
You just played golf.
Self-proclaimed soft. I did.
You just played Sunday.
Playing,
It's not fun.
You on the links nowadays, brother?
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Big time.
Okay.
Big time. Way too much.
Played well too, from what he tells me.
Is that right?
Way too much.
Okay.
Well,
it's getting dangerous.
Invested now, huh?
Yeah, it's
good news.
It's getting
Good
good.
news.
Yeah, it's getting good.
He's out there in his Payne Stewart hat, you know, the Kangol hat.
Absolutely.
The knickers and everything.
The furry Kango. Absolutely.
Looking nice. Hey, man, you look good. You play good. That's what I keep
right.
hearing.
Yes, sir.
That's what I keep hearing.
100%. Yeah, come on, man. And you feel good after that.
Exactly. Well, not in the heat, though. In the heat, you start feeling it at some point.
Hey, where are you guys on Ohtani? And I don't want to spoil anything if you're going to talk about it, but the Giants, should they even make a play for Ohtani-san?
Well, we talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't think they should make a play. It's going to be a 2-month rental, and you're going to just destroy your farm system. Farhan Zaidi's been putting together this really, really cool thing in San Francisco. And why don't you go get Shane Bieber or Lucas Giolito or Justin Verlander or somebody else to fit that, that starting pitching need that you really need. So for me, don't do it. Go get him in the offseason.
Mm-hmm. He's going to the Dodgers, though. Don't you think?
I hope not.
Yeah.
That would be a doomsday scenario.
Dodgers, Yankees?
No.
I think he's going to the Dodgers. It's like one of the few places he's, taking batting practice on the field.
That's my thing. And I've always said, I know we got to break. You're in Anaheim. It's the same thing.
Well, he would have gone to the Dodgers, but they didn't
man.
have the DH. So
yeah,
I think that's where he's wanted to go all along. But I hope I'm wrong.
Same thing.
I do too.
What do you guys have coming up?
We have Kevin coming up, Whitey and Glee. No, I'm just playing. We
he's
talking
around.
Of course, we're talking a little bit of greatest athlete as far as Steph Curry. We're talking about Keegan Murray making the next jump. Is he the best of the second-year players? Joined by our guy who is in Arizona, Derek Hagan, former NFL wide receiver.
Good luck.
And of course, I know, right?
Hopefully his phone
will wish him
stays intact.
I'm trying to tell you. And of course, a lot of fun, man. FPJ in the building.
Yeah.
Baseball for sure.
Can't wait. JJ, FPJ are next right here, Sactown Sports.
The Kings are running it back.
Hammers it off the dribble against Gobert, and he was fouled. Oh, my, what a take that time by Domantas Sabonis. It leads Gobert.